It's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car. Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, good morning to you. It is a Monday, the 8th of February. I'm Jeff Slakey, along with Carol Gardner. Good morning.
Morning, Jeff.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. We've got sports on the radio right now for you, and a good morning to you. Let's see. Last night, game heard on the radio yesterday. There was a Super Bowl was yesterday.
Was that yesterday?
It was yesterday. I don't know.
Okay.
May not have heard it was happening. Denver Broncos ended up beating the Panthers 24-10 in Super Bowl 50. Tanner Allison recorded his first hat trick as a member of the Oldie Town Artesians on Saturday, but the Vancouver victory exploded for 13 goals to down the Artesians 13-6 at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. Jesse DeLeon led the way for victory with 6 goals, and Ben Colpin notched a hat trick in his own to help win the game. The Artesians close out the 2015-2016 season with one more home game this upcoming Saturday against the Snohomish Skyhawks. First kick set for 6. More information, oldtownfc.com. It was a tweet. Did you see the picture of this tweet from Marshawn?
Yeah, it's on our front page of our website.
So is it cryptic or is it not cryptic? He's hanging up his shoes. I mean, that's the tweet. They're shoes that are hanging up with a peace sign.
Yeah, he's hanging up.
All right. Seattle running back Marshawn Lynch may have given indication he's retiring. Sent out a tweet during the fourth quarter of Sunday Night Super Bowl with a pair of cleats hanging from a power line, immediately followed by a statement of thanks and congratulations from teammates, including Sherman, Bruce Irvin. Messages left for Lynch's representatives not immediately returned. John Schneider, Seahawks general manager, indicated in a pair of radio interviews after the Seahawks season that Lynch was leaning towards retirement. He'll turn 30 in April and is coming off an injury-plagued 2015 season, where he was limited to just 7 games in the regular season and one of Seattle's 2 playoff games. This week, Gonzaga plays Thursday at Portland and Saturday at SMU. Additionally, this Thursday, the Shelton girls basketball team headed to take on Auburn Mountain View in the first parts of the playoffs. The game is at 7, and Sports Director Sean Wells scheduled to cover that game. 6:10 right now, and moving on to the forecast, here's Carol.
Good morning. It's 31. It's clear, and today will be mainly sunny with a high of 61. Tomorrow, sunny with a few afternoon clouds, high of 63. For the rest of the week, highs drop to the mid-50s with chances of showers. And today and tomorrow, your best bet for working outside if you like some sun on you.
Man, that's like a great idea.
I know. Right now, it's 31.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It is 6:11 here at Daybreak. I'm Jeff Slakey, along with Carol Gardner. NFL Now from Westwood One coming up in a couple of moments, and a great week, great day for you on the radio. We're going to have a great one.
Mm-hmm.
And, Super Bowl was yesterday, so we'll talk about that throughout the day.
So what else did you do, though, on this weekend?
Oh, man, Kaiser went swimming on Saturday. Sunday, actually, we had...
you went swimming on Saturday.
I did not. Oh, I did go swimming on Saturday. Now, hold on, Carol.
How quick we forget, man. I think it numbed your brain.
Hold on. Wait a second here. I wouldn't consider what we did swimming.
You got in the water.
Jumped on in, jumped on out with the 7th Annual Mason County Emergency Services Polar Bear Plunge down at the Alderbrook. Carol's first time, and what a fun time it was.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd do it again. Definitely. Now
Good.
I say
We've
I'm nice and
scheduled
dry.
you for one this weekend.
Now that I'm nice and dry and it's a year away, yeah, I'll do another one.
Why not? No, it's a lot of fun, and
It
there's a
is.
ton of people out there. Yeah. Jeff Chu out there with some footage. He'll have that story sometime this week, I believe. And Don Miner's going to call us up sometime today, give us some happy totals from the funds raised. 6:12 right now. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
I'm Will Selva with NFL Network Now, the Westwood One Radio Network. The Broncos are Super Bowl champions for the third time in franchise history after holding out the Panthers 24-10 inside Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Denver's defense dominating the game, forcing 4 turnovers, a 2-yard rushing touchdown from running back C.J. Anderson, in addition to a defensive score and 3 field goals from kicker Brandon McManus, gave Denver the win. Broncos linebacker Von Miller was named Super Bowl MVP. Miller finished with 2.5 sacks, forcing 2 fumbles in the process. Cam Newton finishing with 265 yards and an interception. He was also Carolina's leading rusher, gaining 45 yards on 6 carries. The win could be a storybook ending for Peyton Manning. After the game, Manning was asked about any potential retirement and said he is not going to make an emotional decision and will take some time to reflect. This has been NFL Network Now, the Westwood One Radio Network.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees,
I
man.
love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Gary, why aren't you outside enjoying the party?
Hey, Michelle. It's this heartburn. When it hits, it really hits hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it. I've had it. I'm going to kick acid with Rolaids. Rolaids Advanced goes to work instantly for powerful relief of your worst heartburn, bloating, and gas.
Wow, you're packed fast.
Yeah, I feel much better. Now this is a party. Kick acid and gas with Rolaids Advanced.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 6:15 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Monday morning, it is the 8th of February, and a good morning to you. Yeah, we did have we hung out on Saturday. I totally forgot that we had hung out on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. They raised a lot of money for that polar bear plunge. Saw a lot of folks. And the anticipation is the worst part, I believe. Because once you got in, it was cold. Okay, so it was really cold. But once you got in and then you got out again, all the outdoors was nice. It was nice. And
yeah,
it'd be interesting. I had it's like a GoPro, but it wasn't a GoPro filming. So we'll see how it turned out.
You haven't looked at it yet.
I haven't looked at it. I gave it to Jeff Chu for the report, for the story.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Also
we'll
this
see.
weekend. What else did you do this weekend? Did we didn't hang out at all otherwise, did we?
No.
Boy, that would have been embarrassing. So I would have forgot again.
Are you trying to diss me again,
No,
Slinky? Or
I
what's
just told
going on here?
I literally forgot that we had the polar bear plunge on Saturday.
Wow.
It's been a long weekend with Kaiseroo.
Oh, no. Well, the cold numbs the brain.
I think that's what it was.
That's probably what all your memories were wiped. So I spent the rest of the day doing stuff outdoors because it was pretty nice. It wasn't bad. And I had some stuff that I needed to finish up, pre-winter.
Batten down the hatches.
Yeah, but, just sort of after all the rain and the storms and stuff. So I just sort of moved stuff back around to keep it going through the rest of the winter. But I have stuff growing.
You do?
Yeah. I have some primroses. They grow all like winter. So I uncovered a little bit of them so they could get some sun that is going to pop out today
I have a stalk coming out of one of my rose bushes already. It's interesting. Saturday night, I had soccer at the Old Town Artesian. Sports director Sean Wells was there filming some of the action. That was a lot of fun. Their last game this weekend. this upcoming weekend. And then the Super Bowl was on all day.
Yeah.
Listened to it for a lot of the times. Oh, man. Finally vindicated on this one in my own mind. I have for years been under the impression that there are a couple of people that their whole job in life, 365 days a year, is they just climb up. They start at one end of the Golden Gate Bridge, and they start painting, and they get all the way to the other end. And then the year is ended, and then they start again. Nobody ever believes me when I talk about this. Well, yesterday, during the video coverage of the 12 hours of video coverage, there was one 30-second vignette on the painters of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they do every day. That's their job, Monday through Friday, so not 365. But they go up there and touch up the paint on the Golden Gate Bridge, so it looks so beautiful for everybody else.
Well, I can imagine they go touch it up, but they don't start on one end one day and then work their way 365 days to the other end of the bridge. That I don't believe.
Well, I don't know about that, but there is somebody there that works every day.
I imagine
that's their job. They have shirts that say Golden Gate Bridge and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all.
6:19 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and a good morning to you. The commercials, what did you think of those things? So before we get too into this, I was like half paying attention to most of the Super Bowl, but I'm sure I could give you a pretty generic opinion if we talk about them. The first one that I remember is the Doritos one, because you earlier in the year said they're doing that fan thing again, where people can create the own ads. 10 years of this. So it was a baby ad, right?
Yeah.
Was that the one that won?
That's the one that was played, so I imagine that's the one that won.
It was a woman getting her ultrasound, and then the scene cuts to the husband eating Doritos chips, and they kind of get into it a little, and then he moves the chips around, and the baby reacts.
Yeah.
And then she throws the chip. I mean, like between her legs across the thing, and you get an idea of what would happen next. Yay or nay on this one?
Nay, I thought it was totally stupid.
Wow. Why would you say that?
Because it was stupid to me. I just personally found it. Can I say this on the radio? Fart humor.
You can say, well, you just did, so I think you can. But okay.
And to me, it's not even clever. It's just stupid humor. It's not even good B humor to me.
We're talking about it, though.
That's
because I brought it up.
Yeah. I sort of like the hot dog one. That was semi-cute. But, you bring dogs and animals in, and most of them are cute.
Except for the puppy monkey baby.
Half baby, half monkey.
So Mountain Dew has decided to put together three things that are great. Mountain Dew, caffeine, and something. And that was their deal. That was the shtick. We're putting together three great things into one can.
Was there a commercial? Because I missed that one. Maybe.
That was the can. That was it. The puppy monkey baby. So they're saying
that was theirs.
They're saying this puppy monkey baby is three of the best things that people like. They like puppies, they like monkeys, and they like babies.
I missed the whole puppy.
So we're putting it was a pug's head.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, it was.
So they put the puppy monkey baby
all together.
All three of the best things in life, and that was they were alluding to the fact that in the new Mountain Dew cans are three of the best flavors.
I had no idea what they were.
Sounds like they missed their mark if I'm sitting here explaining it.
Well, you're probably their target person, and I probably
You're right, I am. Because I play Call of Duty in the middle of the night with no lights on.
And I don't usually drink soda.
Colgate had a $5 million ad to tell people how to turn off their faucets to save water.
I saw that one. Yeah.
That $5 million could have bought 75 million bottles of bottled water, and they could have printed it on the box.
Are you a water runner when you brush your teeth, or do you turn off your water?
I brush my teeth in the shower, Carol.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm guessing the water is on during that time. Other commercials? What else was there?
Well, I didn't. So I watched it. I had it all online.
So
I wanted to try the cord cutting experience.
Well, hold on. We have a break anyway, so we have to take. And I'm interested in learning about this. I'm a fan of the cord cutting. I think you know this. But I was not aware that you could watch the Super Bowl sans cord. All right, we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Alex Jones and InfoWars. Weeknights 6 to 9 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
And with Google Analytics and with Facebook behind it, they all met the same place Bilderberg met a few years ago. They met there a few years before that. They're north of London. This has all been publicly released and funded the Arab Spring, where they get the students, everybody out the street. But then the radicals use that once they take over to coup d'etat the coup. And then now you have an Islamic State over Libya, over Saudi Arabia, which is already quarterbacking it, over Syria, over Egypt.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. He's got Tarnowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corners, Nelson driving, baseline, and a two-handed throw down dunk. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with two hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball. The Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
Satisfy your need for speed this month at Lucky Eagle Casino.
Enter our Pedal to the Metal giveaway February 1st through 26th, and you could win thousands in cash or a new Dodge Challenger.
We'll have drawings every Friday for prizes ranging from $100 in free play to $2,000 in cash.
Then on February 26th, one lucky finalist will win a new Dodge Challenger from Rainier Dodge.
Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel, I-5 to exit 88, Rochester, Washington. Details at luckyeagle.com.
Where you belong.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Well, good morning to you. It is a Monday here, day after the Super Bowl. A lot of people think that this should be a holiday.
Only if you're the winning team.
Well, I know there are a lot of folks who decide to celebrate the end of football with large celebrations. I mean, I think they assume the productivity lost on a day like this it's a wash or less when it comes to paying for itself. But so people have been pushing to make this day a holiday. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
So it was early morning. I think, so we started our coverage on the radio at 11 with a kickoff at 3:30,
right,
which is great. On the TV, I was up early, and there was already a Super Bowl show on at 8 or 9.
Well, it was already started Friday.
It did start Friday.
Yeah.
It's pretty
well, Saturday for sure, but yeah, probably there was stuff on Friday, but
if you tuned into the radio at 11 and then the game at 3:30, there was also a big controversy. Nobody really knew when the game started. It kept being floated around. Kind of weird. But I digress. If you didn't listen to it on the radio, and if you didn't watch it on the television, or broadcast television, they offered it up for people on the internet this year, right?
Yeah, they did. For anybody that had an internet connection, you could watch it. You could watch. Last year, I suppose you could only watch it if you were registered, I think, with the NFL or you had a Verizon phone.
Oh,
because
sure.
you become an NFL person. Yeah. Or you're registered with CBS or whatever. But this year, if you had an internet connection, you could watch it basically anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. So my internet connection. When I watch graphics or fast-moving videos, it sometimes pixelates out.
Yes.
But the beginning of the game was really great because I was checking it. About second quarter, it started getting a little harder to watch. So I'm thinking more people were jumping on, watching it, I think is what happened. And then it sort of was, then the halftime show was pixelated. That was probably the highest pixelated part.
Yeah. Probably because of people and because of it was so graphic.
Yeah, just.
I mean, like colored-wise.
Yeah, colored-wise. Plus, I have an old machine, so.
Now we get to them.
But I think it probably happened to a lot of people. So then the third quarter, plus I had a full screen. So then when I made a smaller screen, it was just a little better. Third screen, pixelation, and then fourth quarter, it was back to totally clear.
So the third quarter was the exciting quarter. That's when people started logging on.
I don't know. I mean, it started around the second.
I really lost
quarter.
interest. I mean, I wasn't super into it anyways, whatever. But I really lost interest after Denver got that 2-point conversion, going up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. I was like, it was like 2 minutes left. This is done. But I thought it was a pretty good game. I mean, for a football fan.
Yeah.
And the halftime show, Coldplay. I never really thought that would be awesome.
Well, I don't know Coldplay that much. I mean, I know who they are, but I don't follow them. I mean, I was more interested in Bruno Mars and Beyonce.
Beyonce slayed it as usual.
But I just wanted to see how it was online. And it was, I
mean, it
was pretty good.
It was a good alternative.
Yeah, good alternative. They realized that a lot of people just don't want to go through traditional means anymore. Yeah.
I guess for $5 million.
Well, last year they did not show the commercials online. They just showed the game. This year they said if you buy a TV commercial, you have to buy the online package.
Oh, it was a whole separate deal.
Yeah, so I was reading about am I going to be able to see all these things on it? And yeah, we saw pretty much everything.
Mary Lynn Foster's latest in local news is
Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Access to mental health and substance abuse services will get easier in Mason and Thurston counties. The 2 counties have formed a new regional organization which seeks to reduce reliance on jails and emergency departments. This will be accomplished with the implementation of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. The new Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Board will oversee and manage integrated state-funded mental health and chemical dependency programs serving Thurston and Mason counties. Board members include Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, who will serve as chairman for the BHO, and Mason County Commissioner Terry Jeffries as vice chair. Blake says the new organization allows us to combine mental health and substance abuse services that are greatly needed in the community. Dr. Alex Apostle, Shelton School Superintendent, told Daybreak about some upcoming events in connection with Graduation Matters, Shelton's effort to get all students to graduate from high school.
In relationship to Olympic College and our school district, we're working together to put together a program that will encourage Latino students to graduate from high school and attend college. And this is going to be a very exciting event. It's scheduled for March 22nd and 23rd at Olympic College. We are also initiating promotion celebration ceremonies at the 5th grade level, 7th grade level, and 9th grade level to honor the academic achievement of students and the efforts of staff and families in terms of moving the students forward. We're going to do this in the month of May, and we'll be verifying those dates and times and where we're going to have that. But basically, we're going to honor our kids very early in our system for doing a good job.
Other events to put on your calendar. The school district is having a staff open forum on February 18th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Evergreen. There's a community open forum on February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. also at Evergreen. The topics covered during that meeting will include general information on levies and bonds. The Spring Sports Community Pride Night to celebrate athletes and coaches is at the high school, 5:30 p.m. on March 9th. To hear updates on these upcoming events, listen to Dr. Apostle on Daybreak every Friday at 8:15. The Washington State Corrections Secretary resigned on Saturday amid controversy over the early release of prisoners. The Department of Corrections and Governor's Office disclosed in December that a software coding error led to the early release of up to 3,200 prisoners since 2002 because of miscalculated sentences. At least 2 deaths have been tied to those early releases. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
It's a good day to be a Denver Broncos fan. Hi, everyone. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
If you haven't started already, you can officially start now in the Mile High City and Rocky Mountain region because the Denver Broncos are world champions. They have just won Super Bowl 50.
Dave Logan on KOA. Denver defeats the Carolina Panthers 24-10. The big question after the game, will QB Peyton Manning retire? But the two-time Super Bowl champ wouldn't give a definitive answer.
I think I'll make a good decision. I think I'll be at peace with it, whichever way it goes. Like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight being with my family and my friends and some teammates and celebrating this special victory and this special win.
Panthers' Cam Newton wore a hoodie draped over his forehead and looked noticeably deflated after the loss. He only had short answers for the media.
They just played better than us. I don't know what you want me to say.
Broncos linebacker Von Miller forced 2 fumbles and was named MVP. This is ABC Sports. Don't expect many Denver Broncos fans to show up for work on time. ABC's Alex Stone was at the Super Bowl and says fans are soaking in the franchise's 3rd championship.
Oh, man, I feel great, man. Super Bowl champs, baby. Yeah.
For Broncos fans, this is redemption. After Denver had a bruising loss to Seattle 2 years ago, now they're champions. Ted Hunt.
I am on cloud 9, man. I'm so happy for Peyton.
With the field here covered in confetti, now the team begins looking forward.
Von Miller will be a free agent, and if Manning doesn't retire, he'll also be a free agent. Here's what you might have missed on Super Bowl Sunday. Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch hinting that he'll retire with a tweet that showed a pair of cleats hanging from a power line. A game winner on the hardwood in Orlando.
He'll back off.
It's good. Jumper's up. It's in. He knocked it down at the buzzer. Ball game over. They rule it in favor of Orlando. Vucevic faded away from Horford, and bang, it's over.
On WDBO, Magic topped the Hawks 96-94. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Alex Jones and InfoWars. Weeknights 6 to 9 on iFIBER One News Radio.
But they run this hoax. It's the law. No, there is no law. And they all engage in this big conspiracy because they think it's the right thing to do. And then once it starts killing people, they can never admit, oh my gosh, this is a eugenics program. This is a mass public testing program. No. There's no admissions of that. It's just make fun of anybody that talks about it and say that we're going to make everybody sick. That's all over the news now. You're going to make me sick. You take a vaccine.
Good morning to you. 6:36 at iFIBER One News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey. We'll live the country life in about 7 minutes or so from right now. Currently, though, we have got a check on the weather. The current forecast outside as we start the day. Carol, what are we looking like?
We're looking at about 31 and it's clear.
Clear? Nice, cool out there.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner Allison recorded his first hat trick as a member of the Ole Town Artesians Saturday, but the Vancouver victory exploded for 13 goals to down the Artesians 13-6 at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. The Artesians close out the 2015-2016 season with one more home game this upcoming Saturday the 13th against the Snohomish Skyhawks. First kick for 6. And for more information, you can go to oldtownfc.com. And we just heard about it in the ABC Sports Report. Seattle Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch may have given his indications that he's retiring. A tweet during the 4th quarter of Sunday night's Super Bowl with a pair of cleats hanging from a power line, immediately followed by statements of thanks and congratulations from teammates, including Richard Sherman and Bruce Irving. Game heard this week. We have Gonzaga basketball on the radio for you. Thursday at Portland and Saturday at SMU. Additionally, this Thursday, the Shelton girls basketball team is headed to take on Auburn Mountain View. Games at 7. Sports Director Sean Wells is scheduled to cover that game. 6:37, 6:38 right now, and the weather forecast from Carol Gardner.
Good morning. It's 31 and it is clear. If you get outside now, look at the stars. It's beautiful. Today will be mainly sunny, high of 61. Tomorrow sunny with a few afternoon clouds, a high of 63. For the rest of the week, highs drop to the mid-50s with chances of showers. Right now it's 31.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good Monday morning to you. It is the 8th of February on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Jeff Slakey and Carol Gardner. Yeah, that tweet from Marshawn Lynch looks pretty ominous there.
It is, and everybody's, I mean, it would sort of be weird if now he's like, well, I was just joking.
Just kidding.
Everybody said, congratulations, thanks working with you. I mean, everybody tweeted that.
That actually was meant to be a symbol for the Panthers not winning the Super Bowl. I was being artistic there, and nobody really caught me on that one. No, I'm sure it's got to be what it means.
Yeah.
Especially with the peace sign. Peace.
Yeah, exactly. Out. Wilson wrote, honor playing with one of the best running backs of all times. Sherman, like you said earlier, salute to my money guy, or Money Lynch.
That's his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
I don't care about his players. What's his mom say? Mama Lynch.
Mama Lynch posted a message to Twitter also saying, when one door closes, God opens another one. Even better even better. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's beat up.
You get killed on those. I see these guys. I just can't even imagine.
Well, you said that you may not have seen it because you were listening to the radio, but I wanted to, check out the whole online, deal. In the very beginning of the Super Bowl, well, before the game started, they had all 50, or at least the people who won MVPs during the first 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the first guy didn't show up. He was from home waving. Looks pretty old.
So hold on, before you go on, how old are these people?
They're only in their 70s.
They have to be 70s, right? Because in their 20s or so when they're playing the game, and that was 50 years till now.
I can't imagine they're older than 80.
Okay, but I can't either.
They look much older than your average person at their age because they've been so beat up. So when they're walking out, I mean, pretty much everybody limped until the last 10, from 10 years ago.
Is that why
I'm not kidding.
The pregame took so long?
Maybe.
Just it took so long for them to get out there?
But
I'm just wondering.
I don't know, but I was just going, wow.
This is what this does to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's a brutal sport, man.
It is, man. Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Killed.
Yeah, I thought she did really good.
I mean, obviously Whitney is the best from 92. Mm-hmm. That 92 Whitney national anthem is bar none the best. But she has got to be number 2 now.
She was good. I mean, I was wondering how she was going to sing it because sometimes maybe her voice has changed, or maybe obviously her voice has probably gotten better. It must as you sing more and more and more.
Sure, and there's no computerized processing going on like with her.
Right.
Mama face or whatever the song is.
So I thought she did really good.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed watching it and listening to it. The guys on the radio, they got great voices, so I like listening to them.
Yeah, they're much better than the people on the TV.
But it is fun to see because CBS and Westwood One, which is how we get our coverage on the radio, employs the same people. So like Ian Eagle, who's always on our radio broadcast, he was in front of the screen this time. So it's fun to also see what they look like, because sometimes you don't. All right,
for radio.
6:42 here in iFIBER ONE News Radio. That was very nice this morning. We'll live the country life in a minute, Carol. How's that sound?
Let's go live the country life.
After that, there is a story on the front page of the website we want to talk to you about. You'll see that bright orange sign on the picture right on the front page. We'll have that story next on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
You don't win by accident. So this is your year to win. You don't get out of debt. You don't save your marriage by accident. You don't increase the quality of your marriage by accident. You don't raise great kids accidentally. These are intentional acts that you make choices on the variables in your environment, and you form and control your life.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER One News Radio.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. Got Karnowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corners, Nelson driving, baseline, and a two-handed throw down dunk. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with two hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball, the Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
Hands and feet are usually the first to feel the cold when you're outside. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Tuck some air-activated warmers into your clothing to keep you toasty as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
He's done 3 tours, and now he's saving his dad's farm. Do you know a farmer veteran like that? We're inviting you to share their story. Successful Farming Magazine and Grasshopper Mowers are teaming up to acknowledge and thank farmer veterans for their service. This new initiative is called From Fighter to Farmer. Enter any veteran farmers you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer. Explain the veteran's military experience and farming operation, along with the involvement they have in your community. 3 veterans will receive a combination prize package of $5,000 and a vacation to Nashville. One lucky winner will also receive a $10,000 gift certificate to spend at Grasshopper Mowers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 40 contiguous United States and D.C. 13 years and older. Begins February 1st, 2016 and ends April 30th, 2016. Subject to official rules at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer rules. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Sponsored Meredith Corporation. From Fighter to Farmer is brought to you by Grasshopper Mowers. Enter any veteran farmer you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer.
No matter how much I bundle up to go outside, I still need to put toe warmers under my socks to keep them from going numb. The pouches are air-activated portable heat for hands and feet. They're designed to be worn under socks or between layers of clothing. People also put them in their pockets and mittens and other places to stay comfortable in the cold. Dan Tkachuk is a sales manager for Grabber Products. He says the science behind the warmers involves iron powder and oxygen.
You simply just open the package, expose it to oxygen, and it produces heat through an exothermic reaction. A hand warmer may have more iron powder than a different type of warmer, and our fabric allows different amounts of oxygen in. That's how we regulate the reaction.
The more oxygen allowed in, the faster the pouch warms up. Toe warmers, for example, use a non-woven material that lets in more air to compensate for the low oxygen environment inside a shoe. Tkachuk says the warmers heat up to a safe level, but if you feel it's too hot, just remove it. The warmers are designed to give off heat for hours, some as long as a full day. They're meant for one-time use, but if you store them in a sealable plastic bag, you can use them again until they're completely spent.
Let's take, for example, a 10-hour hand warmer, and you're only going out for an hour or two. You can actually shut the reaction down using a Ziploc bag or resealable airlock warmer bags, where you can place the warmer inside. You can shut off the oxygen to the warmer in a matter of minutes. It's going to shut down.
Choosing the right warmer for you comes down to personal preference. Consider where and how it will be used, as well as the amount of time that heat is needed. You can usually find a pack of 10 one-use warmers for under $15. Tell us how you keep warm at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio, KMAX.
Well, good morning to you. We got about 13 to 7 here on iFIBER One News Radio, and a good morning to you. Still kind of cleaning up some of the loose ends on the old Super Bowl. It was just me, Steph, and Kaiser watching yesterday, so there wasn't a lot of, we weren't making any kind of ludicrous, outrageous big bets going on back and forth on this one. But that is a thing that happens.
It is a thing that happens.
At the end of the first quarter, if you were doing those boards, that people do the boards with all the numbers, 0-0, I think, would have gotten it because it was 10-0 at the end of the first. I just remember that. Betting favorite was not the winner in last night's Super Bowl. As the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers, most people assumed the Panthers would win. That surprise may have meant a lot of money changing hands very quickly after the don't leave yet. We bet on this game. Go shirking on me. Maybe too quickly in one case, says ABC's Alex Stone in Santa Clara, California.
There may be a lot of unpaid bets today. Venmo, a popular mobile payment service, a way to transfer money, kind of like PayPal, went down last night. Moments after Super Bowl 50, as fans were celebrating, it crashed. Many are now blaming it on the system being overloaded as users were paying out game bets to friends. For its part, Venmo is acknowledging it had an issue, but is not saying if that's what caused it to go down. Alex Stone, ABC News, Santa Clara, California.
Thanks, Alex. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a PayPal commercial during.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but first I wanted to comment.
Yes.
It probably went down because Venmo was paying off his bets.
The guy's like, I need some money.
Yeah. But yes, I actually liked the PayPal commercial.
It was about old money and new money or something like that.
Yeah,
and it showed a lot of cartoons of coins clinking and things like that.
Well, like old money's going out, new money is everybody.
Well, so what is, I guess I got it towards the end. It was PayPal. But what was the point of it? I guess I didn't really
The point of it is
that we don't use paper money anymore?
No, it's traditional ways of doing things are not... I mean, people are moving forward and not doing things what traditional ways of doing things anymore.
And
they're
so
moving
traditionally,
forward.
we paid for goods and services with physical currency.
Well, you go into your bank, and then you go out of your bank.
Mm-hmm.
You go into your bank to get money. You go into your bank to pay. Put money in. This way, it's done all from your phone. You've seen that new Samsung commercial where the dude pays with his phone.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's like iPhone. No, Samsung pays.
Samsung does.
So it's like everything is just sort of happening, and there are some resistance because it's the traditional ones, and then people going forward saying, hey, this is new money, and this is how it's being done now.
I thought it was interesting. I used to use PayPal all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't used it in a very long time, but people still use it?
Yeah, it's really
popular?
It's actually, I started using it a lot more lately.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. 6:51 here at iFIBER One News Radio, and a good morning to you. Coming up also today, we'll have some news of note from other stories over the weekend. Saturday night, we had a debate on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty entertaining to watch. Chris Christie really got after Marco Rubio. He said the same. So Christie's deal was, Marco, you make a comment and then you go into a canned 25-second speech. So he had done this twice previous where he says something, and then he talks about the president. And so Christie comes out at him. And he goes, listen, here it is, folks, the same old deal. And Rubio does it again and a couple other times. And so people were really dogging him. The next day, people were following him at his town hall meetings dressed as robots. They're like, domo arigato, Marco Roboto, domo arigato, because he had canned response.
Well, when you don't have any substance.
Oh, my goodness. And with that, let's take a break, shall we? It's 6:53 at iFIBER One News Radio. It was a pretty good debate. I mean,
I just wrapped up what you
awkward.
actually were saying.
It was an awkward opening to it. Everybody was just kind of standing in the wings. And yeah. What else happened? Larry David and Bernie Sanders were on SNL. It was a busy weekend.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Say goodbye to the sheep and hello to the Year of the Monkey. An in-depth look at the Chinese New Year on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, February 8th, the 39th day of the year. Actor Nick Nolte has a birthday, and on this traditional Chinese calendar, today is New Year's Day. This is the Year of the Monkey. Legend says it should be an auspicious year for those born in the previous Year of the Monkey. Those include 1944, 56, 68, 80, 92, and 2004. It's also believed that children take on the qualities of the animal associated with their birth year. Wit, intelligence, and lively personalities are a few characteristics of monkey people. Is it true? You be the judge. Here are some well-known people born in monkey years: Charles Dickens, Owen Wilson, Tom Hanks, Will Smith, Mick Jagger, and Miley Cyrus. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio, KMAS.
Good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at iFIBER One News Radio.
Good morning.
Carol Gardner and Jeff Slakey here with you tomorrow night. Public meeting, Shelton Civic Center, 6:30 to 8:30. C Street landfill cleanup. No fewer than 2 pieces of mail from the Department of Ecology in our mailbox this morning. So you likely will see those as well. We had Rebecca Lawson on last week to talk about this. She'll be one of the speakers tomorrow night. And this is to get some information about what the steps moving forward are to clean up this thing, the Shelton C Street landfill. So you can check it out, and you can see it right there on our environment page. Ecology meeting on C Street landfill cleanup, Feb 9, 2016 is the headline.
And we have the links in that story.
Okay. The other big story on the website is kind of an environmental story in a sense. It's headlined, "Junk Houses to be Demolished." Jeff Chu wrote this in-depth article with pictures of some houses around the area, along with some bright orange signs. This one that we see is posted on the side of an E Street home, and it says, "Danger, this building unsafe for human occupancy. Piles of trash, broken furniture, and stripped down junk vehicles or litter in the premises." There you can see it. Jeff was able to talk with Code Enforcement Officer Eric Burke and the Shelton Senior Planner Jason Dose about this house, another house off on Callanan, and the whole abatement issue that the city works with. I was reading this article and I was surprised to find out that a couple years ago, it says here, Officer Burke says one time a couple years ago, we had over 200 houses that were either abandoned, derelict, or walkaways. And that just means you leave. You're like, I'm done paying this thing. I'm out of here. And then you just walk away. The number of homes needing cleanup has been reduced in half. So it's pretty good. They got a top 10 list. Some pretty powerful pictures. We're looking at this morning.
I agree. Pretty interesting. I mean, Jason Dose says it looks more like a junkyard than a house. Really and he says, frankly, it's off the charts, which when you look at the pictures, you're just like, how did it happen?
Yeah.
You know,
they have a top 10 list and they prioritize them on a grading scale for the city's abatement process. So please check that out. You can see the photos alongside the homes on East E Street and then on Callanan. 6:57 here, Carol. We got a CNBC Business Radio report. We'll see if the market is all I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Excited because the Broncos won the Super Bowl, leaving good numbers on Wall Street.
How's that going to happen?
It's a royal crapshoot. Nobody knows how it goes up or down. Actually, one person does. It's Karen Shade. She'll be on at 8:30. She knows exactly what's up with the market.
She might have the inside scoop.
Right now, though, a CNBC Business Radio report on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
I'm Chris Bauer, CNBC Business Radio. Worries about global economic growth are driving the markets lower. The Dow's down 245 points, the Nasdaq lower by 86. Apollo Education Group, owner of the University of Phoenix, says it has agreed to be taken private by a group of investors in a deal valued at $1.1 billion. Last month, Apollo had said it was considering selling itself after years of declining student enrollments. IT services provider Cognizant Technology Solutions warning its current quarter profit and revenue would likely come in below analyst estimates. The company says clients worldwide are cutting back on routine IT services spending. The big ad winners on social media during last night's Super Bowl are PepsiCo's Doritos brand and Allstate's Esurance unit. The Doritos ad drew about 140,000 posts, while Esurance drew 221,000 tweets.
Did you know 1 in 50 people has a brain aneurysm? Every 18 minutes, a brain aneurysm erupts. Half of brain aneurysms result in death. Will it strike you or someone you love? The Brain Aneurysm Foundation is the globally recognized leader in brain aneurysm education, awareness, advocacy, support, and research funding. The Brain Aneurysm Foundation, raising awareness, ending fear. To learn the facts at bafound.org. That's bafound.org.
Looking to save money on Medicare Part D? Switch your prescriptions to Walgreens. With copays as low as $1, you could be looking at some real savings. And now you can preview the cost of your scripts before you fill with Walgreens' new Medicare prescription copay quote. And that's kind of a big deal. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Quotes subject to change and available only for select Part D plans. $1 copay applies to Tier 1 generic.
Tom Hartman is live and waiting your call. Weekdays from 9 to noon on iFIBER ONE News Radio. AM 1030, FM 1033. KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Joan Bennett. The Obama administration is requesting $1.8 billion in emergency funding from Congress to help fight the Zika virus in the U.S. and abroad. Health experts studying how it's transmitted, says ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas.
Dallas, Texas, site of the worst West Nile virus outbreak in 2012. In 2014, the first case of domestically diagnosed Ebola. Now a woman in Dallas has been infected with the Zika virus through sexual contact. Experts say the same things that make this region popular for people, temperate weather, decent transportation, and a strong economy, also make it a prime location for the illnesses that make us sick. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
It's nearly primary day in New Hampshire, and one poll suggests nearly a quarter of voters there are undecided. Republican Donald Trump eyeing his first win on the presidential campaign trail. He's leading by double digits. Democrat Hillary Clinton facing an uphill campaign against Bernie Sanders, says ABC's Cecilia Vega.
The Clinton camp is very realistic about their prospects in New Hampshire. Their internal polling has long showed them losing in this state. The public polls have shown Hillary Clinton trailing by double digits for a long time now. She's still here out campaigning with a packed schedule on this final day. She says that she will keep fighting.
A Boston Herald poll shows Sanders' lead shrinking to 7 points. Super Bowl champion quarterback Peyton Manning still hasn't slept since his Denver Broncos defeated the Carolina Panthers at Super Bowl 50 last night. Manning on ABC's Good Morning America.
There's definitely a lot of adrenaline after winning the game like that, and it's been such a unique season, and it's just been great to be a part of this journey with some great teammates.
Many are wondering if this will be his last Super Bowl. A blizzard will produce whiteout conditions in parts of southeast Massachusetts, including Cape Cod, getting the brunt of a snowstorm that's heading up the East Coast. This is ABC News.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with a gold-silver group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset, and we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-295-6803 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-295-6803. 800-295-6803.
A Chicago police officer has filed a lawsuit against the family of the 19-year-old he shot and killed, claiming emotional trauma. ABC's Ryan Burrow reports from Chicago.
Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo, while responding to a domestic call December 26th, fatally shot Quintonio LeGrier and accidentally shot and killed his neighbor, 55-year-old Betty Jones. LeGrier's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Officer Rialmo now says the 19-year-old assaulted him with a baseball bat and caused him to suffer trauma. The officer has countersued, saying Jones's death was LeGrier's fault. He's seeking $10 million. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Chicago.
The colorful mayor who led Providence, Rhode Island for 6 turbulent terms gets a send-off in his own style today. Buddy Cianci, who died January 28th at the age of 74, will be carried through the streets of the city by a horse-drawn carriage. The Roman Catholic Bishop of Providence will preside over his funeral. His casket will then be carried slowly through his favorite neighborhoods. Joan Bennett, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Access to mental health and substance abuse services will get easier in Mason and Thurston counties. The 2 counties have formed a new regional organization which seeks to reduce reliance on jails and emergency departments. This will be accomplished with the implementation of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. The new Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Board will oversee and manage integrated state-funded mental health and chemical dependency programs serving Thurston and Mason counties. Board members include Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, who will serve as chairman for the BHO, and Mason County Commissioner Terry Jeffries as vice chair. Blake says the new organization allows us to combine mental health and substance abuse services that are greatly needed in the community. Dr. Alex Apostle, Shelton School Superintendent, told Daybreak about some upcoming events in connection with Graduation Matters, Shelton's effort to get all students to graduate from high school.
In relationship to Olympic College and our school district, we're working together to put together a program that will encourage Latino students to graduate from high school and attend college. And this is going to be a very exciting event. It's scheduled for March 22nd and 23rd at Olympic College. We are also initiating promotion celebration ceremonies at the 5th grade level, 7th grade level, and 9th grade level to honor the academic achievement of students and the efforts of staff and families in terms of moving the students forward. We're going to do this in the month of May, and we'll be verifying those dates and times and where we're going to have that. But basically, we're going to honor our kids very early in our system for doing a good job.
Other events to put on your calendar. The school district is having a staff open forum on February 18th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Evergreen. There's a community open forum on February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. also at Evergreen. The topics covered during that meeting will include general information on levies and bonds. The Spring Sports Community Pride Night to celebrate athletes and coaches is at the high school, 5:30 p.m. on March 9th. To hear updates on these upcoming events, listen to Dr. Apostle on Daybreak every Friday at 8:15. The Washington State Corrections Secretary resigned on Saturday amid controversy over the early release of prisoners. The Department of Corrections and Governor's Office disclosed in December that a software coding error led to the early release of up to 3,200 prisoners since 2002 because of miscalculated sentences. At least 2 deaths have been tied to those early releases. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER One News Radio.
This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. We're going to save you money. Montesano has one of the lowest sales tax rates in the state. Plus, our costs are way less than other dealers. And right now, we're offering up to 90 days with no payments on any new or used vehicles with proof of your tax refund. They all come with lifetime oil changes to boot. Stop by and visit WhitneyChev.com to check out our inventory.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Worth the drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
7:08 on a Monday morning. It's Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. And in the lobby, Kevin Schmelzlin will be back in from Friday's conversation about a cleanup he was doing. That's coming in, about 8 or so minutes now, 7:15. Good morning, Carol. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. What's up with the weather real fast?
It's 33 and clear.
There was a lot of beautiful stars. I saw a shooting star actually this morning.
Oh, did you make a wish?
No, because it was in betwixt the dogs wrapping their leashes around my legs and me not even recognizing in time.
You've had a weekend and a morning.
Weekend. It sure was. It was a big weekend. Game heard here on iFIBER One News Radio yesterday. Denver Broncos beat the Panthers 24-10. Tanner Allison recorded his first hat trick as a member of the Ole Town Artesians on Saturday, but the Vancouver victory exploded for 13 goals. Final score there 13-6 at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. The Artesians close out the 2015-2016 season with one more home game Saturday, February 13th, against the Snohomish Skyhawks. First kick is at 6. And more information is at oldtownfc.com. Seattle Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch may have given indication he's retiring. You can find this story on our sports page on iFIBER1newsradio.com. Lynch was tweeting during the fourth quarter of Sunday night's Super Bowl with a pair of cleats hanging from a power line. Lynch's tweet immediately followed by a statement of thanks and congratulations from teammates, including Richard Sherman, Bruce Irving. Messages left for Lynch's representatives were not immediately returned. And Lynch just turning 30 here in April, coming off an injury-plagued 2015 season, limited to just 7 games of the regular season and 1 playoff game.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old in football years.
Yeah, it really is old in football years. These guys are getting creamed. There was a good conversation with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, about all the concussion stuff, and it's really interesting to hear people talk about during the pregame show. One of the guys was talking about how he got hit in a big game, and this was even like, I don't know, we'll say 2006, 10 years ago, not that long ago, and he felt that his value as player would have been diminished moving forward, you know, for contract negotiations and stuff, if he would have pulled himself out.
Right.
For the concussion protocol. If he knew now what he knew then, he surely would have pulled himself out. And the other talkers were there, says that's how it was all the way up until pretty much your guys' generation here, now that you know all this stuff.
Have you seen Concussion?
I have not seen it yet. I hear it's good.
Yeah.
No. What else is going on in the sports world? We have got a couple Gonzaga games for you this weekend. Thursday at Portland, Saturday at SMU, and this Thursday, the Shelton girls basketball team headed to take on Auburn Mountain View. Games at 7, and sports director Sean Wells scheduled to cover that game. 7:11 now, and what's in the forecast?
Well, it's 33 clear, and today it will be mainly sunny with a high of 61. Tomorrow, sunny with a few afternoon clouds, high of 63. For the rest of the week, highs drop to the mid-50s with chances of showers. So get out there today and tomorrow and enjoy some sunshine, the teas that we always have this time of the year. Right now it's 33.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
$7:13 at iFIBER One News Radio, and a good morning to you. It is Daybreak here, and Kevin Schmelzlin is in the lobby. He'll be up next, and in addition to that, Lynn Longan today from Mason County's Economic Development Council. She's the director. She's got the news.
She's the what now?
She's the director.
Yeah.
I know. That's her job at the EDC. We'll be right back after this. Good morning, everybody.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER One News Radio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER One News Radio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER One News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
$7:15 on a Monday morning, and a good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner, and we have a special guest in studio, kind of tying up like a nice little bow this conversation we had on Friday with Kevin Schmelzlin about a cleanup that happened this past Saturday. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming back on the air this morning with us.
Thank you for having me.
And Friday, we had you in here to talk about Clean Up Shelton, taking ownership of the city, and it was to clean up parts of the old Simpson Company's train tracks, most notably behind Park Street. And it started at 9. And how did it go?
Did anybody show up?
It went amazingly. We had, I'd say, about 25 people in total show up to actually pick up trash.
Wow.
We removed over 2,400 pounds of trash.
Oh, my gosh.
Broken glass, syringes, buckets of things I don't want to mention on the air. And just all sorts of awful and typical trash, your bottles and cans and cigarette butts. It was really successful, and the response from the community since has been amazing. We posted the results on Facebook, and over 25,000 people have seen what we did.
Wow.
Amazing. Social media can be used for good.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is definitely the first time I've seen it in this kind of force, at least personally. over 5,500 people on Facebook have engaged with this information. So likes and comments. And that's just from the Shelton to the Top Facebook page, not even counting all the other organizations and groups around Shelton and Mason County, which have been advertising this. And there's just I'm seeing so much excitement. We have over 900 likes in just a few days. We've had this Facebook page, people messaging me, emailing me, letting me know how excited they are to see Shelton turning around. And I think that's what this is about. This isn't just about picking up trash. It's about making Shelton the place that we want it to be, about holding ourselves to a higher standard than we've been holding ourselves, and not backing down from the challenge, because it is going to be a challenge. There's trash everywhere. Every city has trash.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would it be to be that city that was covered with it and now isn't?
So how come has this never been done before? And if it has, why is yours so different? Because of the timing, you think?
I don't totally know why this took off the way it did, other than, I'd say, social media. I posted pictures. I posted a picture of the initial problem and gave very clear details about here's when this cleanup's happening, here's why it's happening. I think people responded, especially to that why message. Also, I think in the follow-up, when I posted the picture of the before and the after, that is what has really gone viral, because people respond to action much more strongly than they respond to words. And I've heard that there's individuals in this town who every day are out picking up trash themselves and have been doing that for years. So I'm not the first person to do it. I'm historically apparently not the most dedicated person, to it, although I promise that I will be from this point forward. But it's I think you have to get the word out there as well. And so that was, I think, a key component.
One thing we were talking about before we got started was, and for a background on this, Friday we talked to you about how you came to Shelton in the home that you live in isn't even your home. You're renting it, but you are making a point to be in this community, and you're going to be in Shelton. So you might as well make it a great place to live. And so that's kind of how you got up to speed here. And so now that you're involved in this, what other, did you see anybody from the city? And I guess I'm kind of going around in a way that we're not necessarily, we want to have the city leaders see that people are proud of the city to take action, and then they'll join us along rather than spearheading these efforts. We kind of talked about that beforehand. Is that about right?
Yeah. My hope would be that the elected officials would be taking the lead on this from the very beginning. And our city officials are certainly working. They're thinking. They're trying to come up with ideas, some which may be successful and some may not be successful. And that's just how that goes. What I would like to have everyone know, because I've heard a lot of people in this town, whether through messages or speaking with me in person or comments, mentioning just a lack of leadership in the city. And I think as a community, we need to show that we are going to make this happen, whether our elected officials are on board or not. And if they see that, then they're either going to get on the train or they better get out of the way, right? But I think that our elected officials will see this sea change happening. I see Shelton changing for the better, and trash is just one small part of making our city the place that it can be. And I know Tracy Moore, one of our city commissioners, was there. She donated some materials. Police Chief Darren Moody helped with the cleanup. But really, to me, the business community and just the community in general that has rallied around this is really amazing. I've had so many offers for donations of materials, donations of cash for this effort. It's overwhelming. I just look forward to this upcoming Saturday.
Well, tell us now. You've got more on the books. You got another street to clean up?
Yes.
Okay. Where are we at this Saturday?
All right. Yeah. When you have this kind of momentum, you can't just stop, as I see it. So I have a two-tiered hope for this. One is that people will be inspired to take individual action. When you go from point A to point B, whether it's walking from your car to the grocery store or wherever you might be walking, that people will pick up trash. But as a community cleanup effort, I do want this to be a very regular thing. People are excited about it. People are asking how they can get involved. off the city center exit from the 101. That is coming east into town, where you'll see the Shelton Directory sign. And you go about, maybe 3 miles of not a whole lot before you actually get to the downtown area. And although that 3 miles of vastness might be a problem in itself, getting to town, there's not much we can do about that at the moment. And arguably, may or may not want to do anything about it. But it's ugly getting to downtown in large part because of all the trash going there. So I see a strong need to clean up the first impression that people are getting of the city. That way, hopefully we'll have more people coming into town, more people staying in town, and hopefully that'll revitalize some of our businesses, help them out, and help revitalize our downtown.
So we're looking from the city center exit and the 101 Shelton Matlock City Center exit towards town as far as you go.
Yes, although I'm thinking also there's the park and ride in that area. So I'm looking at that stretch. In theory, yeah, as far as we can go. There's a lot of trash there.
Yeah.
One thing about that specific area that I'm thinking about, you'll see a big sign, Shelton Directory, as you're coming into town. That's the big lot that I'm talking about. And that I recently walked that area, and I didn't know before the creek that runs through the area. That is one of its deepest, widest points right there. And there's trash just hanging out all around the area. That trash goes in the water. It's flowing all through town. It's going into our water supply. So there's a lot of reasons why I think this specific area is important. Any place near water is important. Anywhere that people are seeing is important. So again, this is step 2 of a many-step process, but we're going to do it. We're taking action. We're going to continue to take action, and I see this movement growing and becoming hopefully a culture in our town.
Well, we will do what we can to spread the word that this Saturday, same time, 9 o'clock?
9:30.
9:30. We'll meet at the park and ride area there at the city center exit. Does that sound about good? I like it. 9:30.
So one thing, so you clean up the trash. And then you did say it's going to be a cultural thing. So maybe people will stop littering?
That's the hope.
Yeah.
I see this as, a total culture change. Right now, people talk about wanting this to be a good place to raise their kids, right? Right now, we're in a city where these kids are walking around and they're seeing trash just all over the place, right? They're seeing their parents just walk by this trash. And, the child might not be consciously thinking about these things, but they're subconsciously learning a lack of responsibility, as I see it. But let me tell you this, when we are in a culture where people pick up their trash, just like it took a long time for recycling to catch on. When we are in a city where people see trash, they pick up that trash and either throw it away or put it somewhere responsible until they can throw it away. That is going to teach our children something very valuable in responsibility, in caring about your community. And that will just be a catalyst for bigger and greater things. And not just for our children, but for our city. As we become a city that takes pride in itself, that goes that one little extra step to make sure that this is a place.
This is a test, only a test, of the emergency alert system in Washington State. In the event of an emergency, this system would bring you important information. The following tones will conclude this test from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center.
All right, so we're back now. Sorry about that. We get these monthly EAS tests that take over our system. But Kevin, continue on with your point before we were interrupted. We were just talking about the kids seeing parents and people pick up the things, and then it's a ripple effect from there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a cultural. You're proud to where you're at, and if you see a piece of garbage, you don't just you go, oh, I'm going to pick it up because that's just not how we do things here.
Right, and that becomes, and at first it's a struggle.
Right.
It's like going on a good diet or you're going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
Most people who are morbidly obese, for example, will continue to stay that way, and their health will continue to deteriorate. But there are some people who take action, who dig inside themselves to step up and enact the change that needs to happen, and they become their own personal success story, and that brings to other accomplishments in life.
Right.
And maybe it's not a perfect analogy, but our city is in an unhealthy state right now. Our trash is everywhere, and if we don't take care of this problem, the thing about trash is it only gets worse.
Right.
It only gets worse. So right now, so 900 people, following this Facebook page. I didn't even count how many comments. It's in the hundreds. Definitely in the hundreds. And so many of these people are saying, where did all this trash come from? I don't remember all this trash being here. Litter is a somewhat modern phenomenon, at least, on the scale that we have. And it's just going to get so much worse unless we take action right now. And so I hope the community will rally around this. I hope our elected officials will rally around this. And let's make Shelton the place that it needs to be, because if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen possibly ever.
Facebook.com/Shelton to the top. It's all one word. 9:30 this Saturday at the Park and Ride at the Cine Center Matlock exit is the next scheduled cleanup. And Kevin Schmelzlin in here again today talking to us about this. And thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
7:28 now. We've got to get to the latest in local news from Mary Lynn Foster. That's coming up next right now on Daybreak.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Having a new baby this year? If you just got the exciting news, Mountain View Women's Health has some more good news for you. The best prenatal and delivery care you could ask for is close to home and family. Mountain View Women's Health and the Birth Center at Mason General Hospital offer excellent care to make your prenatal and birth experience wonderful. Among the many great features is the personalized birthing plan that includes your choice of pain management, from epidural to natural birth. For more information, call Mountain View Women's Health at 426-0955.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Understanding your finances is a key to a strong financial future. Don't be the one who gets left behind. Visit feedthepig.org for tools and tips to get started on the path to financial stability. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Access to mental health and substance abuse services will get easier in Mason and Thurston counties. The two counties have formed a new regional organization which seeks to reduce reliance on jails and emergency departments. This will be accomplished with the implementation of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. The new Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Board will oversee and manage integrated state-funded mental health and chemical dependency programs serving Thurston and Mason counties. Board members include Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, who will serve as chairman for the BHO, and Mason County Commissioner Terry Jeffries as vice chair. Blake says the new organization allows us to combine mental health and substance abuse services that are greatly needed in the community. Dr. Alex Apostle, Shelton School Superintendent, told Daybreak about some upcoming events in connection with Graduation Matters, Shelton's effort to get all students to graduate from high school.
In relationship to Olympic College and our school district, we're working together to put together a program that will encourage Latino students to graduate from high school and attend college. And this is going to be a very exciting event. It's scheduled for March 22nd and 23rd at Olympic College. We are also initiating promotion celebration ceremonies at the 5th grade level, 7th grade level, and 9th grade level to honor the academic achievement of students and the efforts of staff and families in terms of moving the students forward. We're going to do this in the month of May, and we'll be verifying those dates and times and where we're going to have that. But basically, we're going to honor our kids very early in our system for doing a good job.
Other events to put on your calendar. The school district is having a staff open forum on February 18th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Evergreen. There's a community open forum on February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. also at Evergreen. The topics covered during that meeting will include general information on levies and bonds. The Spring Sports Community Pride Night to celebrate athletes and coaches is at the high school, 5:30 p.m. on March 9th. To hear updates on these upcoming events, listen to Dr. Apostle on Daybreak every Friday at 8:15. The Washington State Corrections Secretary resigned on Saturday amid controversy over the early release of prisoners. The Department of Corrections and Governor's Office disclosed in December that a software coding error led to the early release of up to 3,200 prisoners since 2002 because of miscalculated sentences. At least 2 deaths have been tied to those early releases. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now. Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful. Roger that.
Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Now in 4 energizing new flavors like Midnight Grape. It all starts with a kick.
The Chad Benson Show.
How in the world are you going to pay for all that you want to do? And you can only tax people to a certain point. People who are smart, guess what? They get sick and tired of it, and they find other ways to do stuff. All of a sudden, you go from having a certain percentage of something to 100% of nothing.
The Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays 3 to 6 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
It's a good day to be a Denver Broncos fan. Hi, everyone. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
If you haven't started already, you can officially start now in the Mile High City and Rocky Mountain region, because the Denver Broncos are world champions. They have just won Super Bowl 50.
Dave Logan on KOA. Denver defeats the Carolina Panthers 24-10. The big question after the game, will QB Peyton Manning retire? But the 2-time Super Bowl champ wouldn't give a definitive answer.
I think I'll make a good decision. I think I'll be at peace with it, whichever way it goes. Like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight being with my family and my friends and some teammates and celebrating this special victory and this special win.
Panthers' Cam Newton wore a hoodie draped over his forehead and looked noticeably deflated after the loss. He only had short answers for the media.
They just played better than us. I don't know what you want me to say.
Broncos linebacker Von Miller forced 2 fumbles and was named MVP. This is ABC Sports. Don't expect many Denver Broncos fans to show up for work on time. ABC's Alex Stone was at the Super Bowl and says fans are soaking in the franchise's 3rd championship.
Oh, man, I feel great, man. Super Bowl champs, baby. Yeah.
For Broncos fans, this is redemption. After Denver had a bruising loss to Seattle 2 years ago, now they're champions. Ted Hunt.
I am on cloud 9, man. I'm so happy for Peyton.
With the field here covered in confetti, now the team begins looking forward.
Von Miller will be a free agent, and if Manning doesn't retire, he'll also be a free agent. Here's what you might have missed on Super Bowl Sunday. Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch hinting that he'll retire with a tweet that showed a pair of cleats hanging from a power line. A game winner on the hardwood in Orlando.
He'll back off. It's good. Jumper's up. It's in. He knocked it down at the buzzer. Ball game over. They rule it in favor of Orlando. Vucevic faded away from Horford, and bang, it's over.
On WDBO, Magic topped the Hawks 96-94. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
.36 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. It's a Monday here. I'm just like you, along with Carol Gardner. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Jeff. How are you?
I'm well, thanks for asking. We have got some sports reports for you. We just heard an ABC Sports, kind of took all my gusto out of it, I think. There was the Super Bowl, so and then he mentioned Marshawn. And what do you think about this Marshawn tweeting out a picture of his, or a pair of shoes dangling on top of power lines there, and the emoji that follows it there says just the peace sign?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it for Marshawn? He's all done. You think so?
Well, he's 30.
You make a good point early this morning when you said he can't go back now.
Well,
although he did not say I'm retiring.
Right. And he is a competitive person. He is a very competitive person. But
it would just be awkward now.
Yeah. Well,
we're leaving. Tom Rawls has already moved in.
He had a big party.
Tom Rawls already moved his stuff over one locker. Oh, sweet. I get the big locker now.
Exactly.
And then he shows up.
Hey, what's going on? I
my locker
tweet
here.
that out. No.
That was not a tweet. That tweet had something to do with something else.
Yeah. So,
just finishing
you
War
know,
and Peace.
I wouldn't be surprised, if he did retire. I mean, I hope he's not just leaving the Seahawks. So I don't think he would have hung up his cleats if he was leaving just the Seahawks.
That's a good point.
So I don't know.
Hanging it up.
Yeah.
Hanging it up.
Mm-hmm.
Other sports news for you this morning. Tanner Allison recorded his first hat trick as a member of the Old Town Artesians Saturday night, but the Vancouver victory exploded for 13 goals. Final score there, 13-6 at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College, closing out the 2015-2016 season this Saturday against the Snohomish Skyhawks. First kick set for 6. More information at oldtownfc.com. This week, Gonzaga plays Thursday at Portland and Saturday at SMU. Additionally, this week, the Shelton girls basketball team is headed to take on Auburn Mountain View. Game is at 7. Sports Director Sean Wells scheduled to cover that game. We'll have a chat with him to make sure we are all on the same page to cover all that we can when it comes to high climber sports. In addition, you can check out the story that Marilyn Foster shares about our spring Community Pride Night coming up for spring sports, and we'll have great coverage of Shelton high climber spring sports here on iFIBER One News Radio. 7:39 now. Carol lets us know what's going on in the weather.
Good morning. It's 33, clear, and today will be mainly sunny, a high of 61. Mainly sunny if it's clear. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's going to be sunny out. Tomorrow's
foggy out there right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? It was very clear this morning earlier, so fog must have rolled in, but it's going to be clear today. Tomorrow's going to be clear, high of 63, with a little bit of afternoon clouds. The rest of the week, we're going to have highs that dropping to the mid-50s. We're going to have some showers Wednesday and Friday. And if you want to get outside and have fun in the garden or go on a walk.
Just today or tomorrow,
without the rain, yeah. Today and tomorrow's your best bet. Right now it's 33.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
7:40 here at iFIBER One News Radio, and a good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner here. It's Daybreak, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Some of the news of note from the Associated Press that has made its way onto our work desk here today. A former IRS agent in Seattle is going to go on trial this week on accusations that he solicited about $20,000 as a bribe from a medical marijuana dispensary. The feds say that after Paul Hurley audited the dispensary in Seattle last summer, he told its owner that he had saved him $1 million and suggested that in return the owner should pay off his student debt. But the owner reported Hurley to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Good for that guy. Don't want to be strong-armed by that. That'd be a situation where that'd be a tough situation to be in. When a guy, so already, although technically legal in the state, it is morally questionable to many people here. And so kind of, it's still a gray area for a lot of this. So when this guy comes in and says, boy, saved you $1 million, you should pay my student debt loan for $20,000. I bet there are some businesses that they're not sure how to proceed in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fortunately, this guy stood up to him, because you don't want. So there was this lady that pulled over a cop, I think, in Florida for speeding.
I didn't read the story. I saw the headline.
Well, now she's claiming that the union boss, cop boss, is harassing her.
Sending goons to her house?
I don't know if she's pulling a Peyton, but she's being talked to by the police.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. Got Kornowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corners, Nelson driving baseline, and a two-handed throw down zone. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with two hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball, the Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
This is Kathy. The best way to keep current on local news and issues is by subscribing to the Mason County Journal. The importance of subscribing to the paper hit home when the marijuana businesses started cropping up in local neighborhoods, and people called the paper saying they hadn't heard about the zoning changes. I had to inform the callers that this issue had been discussed in the paper for many months, and the best way to know what was happening in their community was to read the local newspaper. As a result, many of them started up a subscription. Call 426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com to start your subscription today.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFIBER1NewsRadio.com. The Hood Sport chapter of Takeoff Pound Sensibly would like to invite anyone interested in taking control of their weight to join Friday mornings for support. Weigh-in is from 8:30 to 9:45, and the meetings begin at 10 a.m. Ops meets in the Hood Sport Community Church at 71 Finch Creek Road. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3. Presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 7:45 here at iFIBER ONE. We'll hear from the old farmer in a few moments. Today's the Chinese New Year, Carol's Year of the Monkey.
Yes.
There was some controversy about this at the beginning of the month down in Sacramento with the basketball team down there, but I think they've since fixed that. But yes, the Year of the Monkey begins in earnest today, and I believe because of that, the Chinese stock market, maybe a lot of China in general, shut down for a week as they will be celebrating that. We're kind of just looking at some of the stories around the Northwest. Carol has a story for us from our friends at the Business Examiner in just a second about Tacoma, but new data released by the Nez Perce tribe shows that the fall Chinook returning to the Snake River have set a new record for the third straight year. Tri-City Herald reports that data shows a new record of about 9,300 reds or gravel nests were built by returning adults in the Snake River Basin, shatters the previous records set in 2014 when about only 6,700 reds were added. That is an increase of 2,600 or so. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and we were talking about that last week. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but how things are, when you break down what barriers we've put up, the natural world is coming back.
Oh, well, we talked about the like the Elwha and the dam and that everything coming back, and then
we were talking
Bayshore
about
and then the marina when they're going to start working up their kind of revitalization efforts. Pretty cool stuff. All right, under the regional tab of iFIBER ONE News Radio news, then regional news. Headline, week one of new employment standards, a little frantic. This from our friends at the Business Examiner.
Yeah, so this week is, I guess starting today, is Tacoma's new employment standards, which include a minimum wage hike and implementation of a mandatory paid sick leave. So the two ordinances went into effect on, Monday, February 1st. So
Okay.
maybe I'm a little late on this, but $10.35 per hour is now the new minimum wage for a business if you work in Tacoma.
Okay.
And you also get sick leave. You get 1 hour paid for every 40 hours worked, which means you get 24 hours in a year.
City has received over 175 inquiries about these employment standards in the month of January, trying to understand how many people may be eligible for this minimum wage. People are asking via attorney, email, phone. These ordinances are going into effect. Not much has changed. They're doing a lot of outreach right now, getting people to understand this. And is this on the way to $15 an hour?
Well, I think it might be the schedule that they had it out throughout the years, but this is their first one. You know, they're seeing how it goes. No businesses have closed down, no employees or nobody's being fired yet.
It's only been 7 days.
And the city is not. So one of the things is, well, how are they going to enforce this? And right now it's, it just began.
Okay.
And they don't want to enforce it by, fining a business, which will just add to, confusion and not, people won't be happy about it. So they're going to try to solve it, mediate it, if there's an issue that comes up. And mainly if an employee files a complaint and say, hey, it's not happening at this business, the city or whoever is going to go and talk to the business and find out what's going on, how they can help them and, get that going. So I guess it's going to be, this is just to the $12 level, I guess. It's $10.35 per hour right now, $11.15 next year, and $12 in 2018.
Oh, I remember that because they had two ballot initiatives this past election cycle. One was for 15 straight up, and then one was, I think, 15 eventually.
Right.
So this is all part of that. Interesting story, and it is. The whole country is watching the Northwest, Washington in particular, because of these increases, the $15 at SeaTac.
Right.
They're getting close to doing that 15 at in Seattle proper, and now Tacoma bumping up their numbers. So a lot of folks on both sides, the pro-business guys who say it's going to crush jobs, and the pro-worker side who says it's going to help all boats or whatever.
Right.
They're both keying in on this, looking for any sort of stat that they can pull and go, hey, it's working, and because of this, now blank, blank, and blank are happening.
Right. So, I mean, most of the businesses were proactive on trying to get this done. I mean, obviously, that's the best way to do it. So you can try to figure out, what's going on going forward. Some of the companies, a little more complex because they have employees that work in the city and that don't work in the city. So it's, a lot more paperwork, especially at the beginning, because, you're not sure if you're actually in compliance with everything because there's so many moving and different types of things. But, we'll just
try it, see what happens.
We're gonna watch it and see what happens.
It was voted on by the people, so.
It was.
They don't like it. They're the ones that voted for it, I suppose.
That's true.
7:50 at iFIBER One News Radio. Here from the Old Farmer's Almanac now. When we come back, we'll have some more stories from you from around the Northwest and the world from the overnight.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Say goodbye to the sheep and hello to the Year of the Monkey. An in-depth look at the Chinese New Year on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, February 8th, the 39th day of the year. Actor Nick Nolte has a birthday, and on this traditional Chinese calendar, today is New Year's Day. This is the Year of the Monkey. Legend says it should be an auspicious year for those born in the previous Year of the Monkey. Those include 1944, 56, 68, 80, 92, and 2004. It's also believed that children take on the qualities of the animal associated with their birth year. Wit, intelligence, and lively personalities are a few characteristics of monkey people. Is it true? You be the judge. Here are some well-known people born in monkey years: Charles Dickens, Owen Wilson, Tom Hanks, Will Smith, Mick Jagger, and Miley Cyrus. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
7:51 here at iFIBER One News Radio. It's Daybreak with Carol Gardner. I'm Jeff Slakey. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to order me one of them puppy monkey babies, I think.
Yeah, those things were
wow,
ugly.
Well, I mean, it was 3 of the things that everybody likes in one small package, and that's what they were doing there with that Kickstarter thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Mountain Dew, citrus, and caffeine. Those are the 3 things that people like to combine. And that's what they put into this drink, and that's what they were saying with this puppy monkey baby.
Isn't Mountain Dew already have citrus and caffeine? And Mountain Dew in it?
And it's delicious. Yeah, no, it's pretty extreme. But just another new flavor. They got I read a great article on them about how they come up with their flavor profiles.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, well, I don't know. Let's make it pink and tastes like ginseng. And then they have this whole, and then that's it. And they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Kids love Mountain Dew. I mean, I used to spend nights playing video games and drinking Mountain Dew. Who hasn't?
Yeah, but that's horrible for you.
Probably. What are you looking at here? Woman crashes own funeral.
After murder plot.
Dun, dun, dun.
I guess somebody was hired to kill her, possibly her husband.
Okay.
And it failed.
And then they had a funeral for her.
And then they had a funeral for her, and
she showed up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not really dead.
Yeah, not really dead. She ultimately got him to confess while police secretly recorded them.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. He had a funeral and everything, and she showed up for it.
Yeah.
7:53 at iFIBER One News Radio, and
movie plot.
Good. It is like a movie plot. Good morning to you. Over the weekend, North Korea had a long-range missile test and launch, strongly and unanimously condemned by members of the United Nations Security Council yesterday. They had an emergency meeting over the launch. Council members restated their intent to develop significant new sanctions against North Korea for violating UN resolutions. So what I am appearing to understand about this missile is that it took launch. It had a satellite or something in it, and it is a hovering pattern around the Earth that is good for photos.
Good for photos. So
meaning that it's not in opposite circling with the sun, so it won't always be a sun shot. It's good to take photos. I don't know what they're taking photos of. I don't know anything. But this was definitely...
I don't know anything. Yeah.
This is definitely something that they talked a lot about during the Republican debate on Saturday night in New Hampshire.
Speaking of taking photos from outer space, I saw The Martian.
Oh, with Matt Damon.
Yeah, with Matt Damon. And I think it's great because it's not like... I mean, obviously it's science fiction because we're not on Mars yet, but it's not really science fiction because it's basically science on how you would survive on Mars. And I read the book quite a while ago, and I think the movie did pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. So you're stuck alone on a planet.
Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. What's his name? Jeff Bridges?
Mm-hmm.
That's not his name. I know who you're talking about, though. Okay. So I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
With my thoughts. And I have to somehow survive. And do I have an idea of when NASA is coming to get me?
Yes. Yeah, you know all that.
I have an end date.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's 4 years.
What? You're by yourself for 4 years on a planet that nothing grows?
Yeah.
You're supposed to grow stuff? That's like the whole commercial I've seen once.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, lucky for him, he is a botanist. But the main thing is he has to try to figure out how he can contact the Earth. And he just, obviously you have a lot of time to think, so you have to try to figure out, you have a problem, you have to figure out how to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty, it's a great movie. Good. I suggest everybody go see it.
We do have the Academy Awards coming up here in a little bit. Is he nominated for a Best Actor?
I don't know if he is or not, actually.
Yeah, no, we got some interesting Academy Awards coming up here in a little bit. They already have the results out for the ratings for last night. Sunday night's matchup between the Broncos and the Panthers scored the second highest overnight rating for a Super Bowl. Only last year's game with the Hawks and the Patriots drew more viewers. Variety is reporting, Carol, that according to Nielsen, Super Bowl 50 averaged a 49 rating or a 73 share. Last year's rating was a 49.7. So they're saying about 114 million people watched it, which is about half of the country.
Right, but what also is they don't have the digital ratings out yet. Is that true?
I would imagine that is true because you watched it online and also Apple TV had it and Roku had it, and then also for the radio. So I don't even know if they put the radio numbers in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they put that usually in the Nielsen one either.
Beyonce, Bruno Mars, upstaged Coldplay is what people are saying today, and Lady Gaga crushed the national anthem. She did a great job.
She did a great job.
She's good. Taylor Swift is going to be performing at the Grammys. Those are coming up on the 15th on Monday, a week from today at the Staples Center. LL Cool J, the host, he's a good host. He is on a show called Lip Sync Battle on Spike. It's pretty funny. She's up for 7 Grammys, and Taylor Swift will be performing this year. Taylor Swift returning to the Grammy stage for performance. These are the 58th Grammys. Grammy's probably one of the better ones. The best, I think, in my opinion, is the Country Music Awards.
Right.
Not that I spend a lot of time watching these and that in particular, but I know that they put more performances on the show than the actual awarding of the ceremonies. Like the Grammys, they got musical artists all over the place. They don't show the movies during the Academy Awards. It's just the awards given. That's what I'm talking about there.
Well, if you want to go see a concert, or do you want to go see awards?
I think I'd rather go see a concert.
Yeah, exactly. 7:59
here at iFIBER 1. We have ABC News coming our way in just mere moments. Mary Lynn Foster at 8:04. We'll check sports and weather after that as well. It's all next on Daybreak. AM 1030 and FM 1033.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER 1 News Radio.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER 1 News. Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER 1 News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. The Mason County Senior Center is taking a van to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show Friday the 19th. More than 300 exhibitors with home and garden tools and accessories, plants, furniture, art, and more. It's $42 for members, $47 for non-members, includes transportation and event tickets. Call the Senior Center for details. For iFIBER 1 News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER 1 News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Mary. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump aiming for his first win. Democrat Hillary Clinton trailing in the state's polls behind Vermont's Bernie Sanders. ABC's Cecilia Vega in Manchester.
Well, it must be one day away. The attacks are escalating. Bill Clinton has been a familiar face on the campaign trail, reserved, almost quiet at times until now. He's basically the campaign attack dog. He went on and on overnight against Bernie Sanders, one hit after the next. At one point, he said for his wife, it's not about grand theories of revolution. This is about whether we can improve people's lives.
Trump at a town hall in Salem this morning, lashing out at Jeb Bush.
He's on every show. Donald Trump said this, Donald Trump said that. And then he said, see, I'm the only one taking on Donald Trump. I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. He's like a child. He's like a spoiled child.
That after Bush called Trump a loser and a whiner. President Obama asking Congress to free up funds to help combat the spread of the Zika virus.
The Obama administration is asking for $1.8 billion in emergency funding from Congress to fight the Zika virus. Most of the money would go to the Department of Health and Human Services to support Zika virus readiness, research, and treatment in the United States. Money would also go to help affected countries control mosquitoes, which is how the virus is spread. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
A harrowing night for cruise passengers on the Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas, which left New Jersey Saturday for a 7-day cruise to the Bahamas. The ship was caught in hurricane-force winds off the Carolina coast. Passengers say they were ordered to stay in their cabins as the ship listed 45 degrees. Greg Gribbs.
We would walk around our room kind of just all sideways like we were in a fun house.
This is ABC News.
Control, do you like mortgages? Negative. Over. Do you like rockets? Affirmative. Over. Do you like rocket mortgages? I'm listening. Over. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that turns the entire mortgage process into a fast, powerful, completely online experience. Copy that, QL1. I'm going to go ahead and push this button in 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket. Equal housing letter. License offer state and MLS Consumer Access.org number 33.
If you are one of the millions of citizens with unresolved IRS tax problems, you must call Rush Tax Resolution today. With one call, you will speak to a federally licensed tax expert ready to help you and represent you against the IRS.
I would say my biggest fear was what was going to happen next. I was receiving these horrible phone calls, nasty letters, levies to my bank accounts. I literally did not know what to do until I called Rush Tax Resolution.
877-554-RUSH, 877-554-7874, or rushtaxresolution.com.
More people are going off the grid, saving money by switching to alternative energy. Now whole towns are doing it, says ABC's Chuck Siebertson.
After several ice storm-related power outages, the town of Nassau, New York, population 5,000, is setting a goal to be completely off the electric grid and rely totally on solar, wind, landfill gas, and battery storage by the year 2020. Other towns are considering becoming similar microgrids. After Superstorm Sandy, Fairfield, Connecticut hooked up an off-the-grid system that automatically takes over if the utility grid fails. Reaction from utilities is mixed. Some see opportunity, others see threat. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Auto safety investigators have determined that electronic gear shifters in some newer Fiat Chrysler SUVs and cars are so confusing that drivers have gotten out of the vehicles while they were still in gear, causing more than 120,000 crashes and 30 injuries. The probe now covers more than 800,000 vehicles. Joan Bennett.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Access to mental health and substance abuse services will get easier in Mason and Thurston counties. The two counties have formed a new regional organization which seeks to reduce reliance on jails and emergency departments. This will be accomplished with the implementation of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. The new Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Board will oversee and manage integrated state-funded mental health and chemical dependency programs serving Thurston and Mason counties. Board members include Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, who will serve as chairman for the BHO, and Mason County Commissioner Terry Jeffries as vice chair. Blake says the new organization allows us to combine mental health and substance abuse services that are greatly needed in the community. Dr. Alex Apostle, Shelton School Superintendent, told Daybreak about some upcoming events in connection with Graduation Matters, Shelton's effort to get all students to graduate from high school.
In relationship to Olympic College and our school district, we're working together to put together a program that will encourage Latino students to graduate from high school and attend college. And this is going to be a very exciting event. It's scheduled for March 22nd and 23rd at Olympic College. We are also initiating promotion celebration ceremonies at the 5th grade level 7th grade level and 9th grade level to honor the academic achievement of students and the efforts of staff and families in terms of moving the students forward. We're going to do this in the month of May, and we'll be verifying those dates and times and where we're going to have that. But basically, we're going to honor our kids very early in our system for doing a good job.
Other events to put on your calendar. The school district is having a staff open forum on February 18th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Evergreen. There's a community open forum on February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. also at Evergreen. The topics covered during that meeting will include general information on levies and bonds. The Spring Sports Community Pride Night to celebrate athletes and coaches is at the high school, 5:30 p.m. on March 9th. To hear updates on these upcoming events, listen to Dr. Apostle on Daybreak every Friday at 8:15. The Washington State Corrections Secretary resigned on Saturday amid controversy over the early release of prisoners. The Department of Corrections and Governor's Office disclosed in December that a software coding error led to the early release of up to 3,200 prisoners since 2002 because of miscalculated sentences. At least 2 deaths have been tied to those early releases. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER One News Radio.
We have a universe that's expanding like a balloon. And in every astronomy class, the professor takes out a balloon, gets a felt pen, and puts little spirals on the balloon called galaxies. And there we are sitting in the Milky Way galaxy. And then the astronomy professor begins to blow up the balloon. And sure enough, the distance between the balloons expands. So the universe is expanding.
Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable. Affordable refrigeration, cooling, and heating. Whether residential, commercial, or food service equipment, your satisfaction is of utmost importance. And with over 30 years of experience, Arch Mechanical Service is backed by a 30-day labor guarantee. Serving South and West Puget Sound, there is no need to pay for one of those big city technicians. Call 360-229-2139. Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable.
.808 at iFIBER One News Radio. It's Daybreak. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner, and Dale Hubbard is in studio this morning as well. We're talking sports. We're talking other things after the break. But the first thing is there was a football game on yesterday, Dale. Did you happen to hear anything about this big matchup or something in beautiful Santa Clara, California?
It was a beautiful football game.
It was a great game for footballers.
Football fans would have enjoyed it. They're calling it ugly, but defense wins Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Who's calling what ugly?
Defense was the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Who's calling what ugly?
Casual fans thought it was an ugly game because there wasn't a lot of fireworks.
Oh.
Purists loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And people who were Denver Bronco fans are ecstatic. Peyton Manning fans, people who appreciate what he's done for this game. I hope and I think he'll retire.
I would think so.
But regardless, it was a wonderful, fitting finish to a career if this is the end of it. And Von Miller got the MVP. There's only been 8 defensive players that got an MVP in 50 years of Super Bowls. And he deserved it. A couple of sacks. And, yeah, indeed. And Cam was petulant and acting like a little kid afterwards. Threw a hood up over his head and didn't want to answer any questions. Wanted to pout in front of everybody.
Yeah, he's
then walked out in 2.5 minutes.
He's young. I mean, compared to like Wilson.
No, he's not. He's older than Wilson.
Well, no, attitude-wise.
Yeah.
Or compared
he's
to,
immature and petulant.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, he just. Yeah, he definitely needs a little work on that. But.
So, and there was some good comments about that. Some to his support, and some that said you can't do that. So anyway, it was a good win for the Denver Broncos, and I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was close, nail biter kind of. Exciting.
Yeah, up until that, I really lost interest when they got that 2-point conversion. It was like 2 minutes left in the fourth. What?
You lost interest?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, if it,
because he was 2 scores away, there was only 2 minutes.
Yeah, but if it was the Seahawks, I'd be like, they can still do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're rooting for a certain team, you're like, you're still thinking, you know, they still can do it.
I gave myself the permission to change the channel after that. How's that? Does that work better?
And you can do whatever you want, Flaky.
I mean, it was just up until that point when it was really out of hand. 2 goals with 2 minutes. The defense was.
Well, you could have said it was out of hand at the beginning when they were, you know, had 0 points.
Oh, but I had to see that baby puppy monkey commercial.
Commercials were good.
You liked them?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that Doritos commercial?
I liked it. I know some people weren't.
I think more guys probably liked it than.
Yeah, guys were roaring. It was funny. Baby was slipping down the tubes, man, going for those Doritos.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly. Coincidentally enough, Jerry and I were eating a bag of Doritos at the time of the commercial.
Okay, there you go. So that might have made it more fun
So
and funny.
it was really funny.
Kismet. What flavor?
That
nacho cheese?
Nacho cheese, yeah.
Out of all the flavors they have, why do they go with the standard?
Because it's the best.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't like any other flavors.
You guys aren't Cool Ranchers?
I'm a Cool Rancher on occasion, but nacho cheese is by
traditional.
far way out in front.
Oh yeah, I agree.
They're like the Denver Broncos of Doritos.
All right. Well, good to know. Exciting. What else was going on over the weekend? Don't talk about the gala because we'll do that after the break.
There was the plunge, which you completely forgot about.
I did forget about it. It was a long weekend, Dale. There was little sleep at the Slakey household. We got a lot of teeth coming in.
Okay, so
8 more to go.
A great turnout, and thank you all for coming out and participating in the Polar Bear Plunge on Saturday. So I put it like a 24-hour shift in over at Alderbrook.
You did.
This weekend, yeah. But a good turnout, a lot of plungers, good donations. Stan Yanis and the Backwoods Windjammers. That
sounded good.
Filled in with the musical interludes, playing Jaws when people were out there getting ready to jump in.
Yeah, they played the theme to the Titanic also.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not jumping right now.
So it was really, that was really a nice touch to the whole thing.
Yeah, that was
really
fun.
enjoyed that. Delicious clam chowder from Alderbrook and free coffee and good day. It was a good day.
It was a very mild, pleasant temperature-wise. 8:13 here at iFIBER One. We'll skip the rest of that stuff. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, the other big event at the Alderbrook that night is the North Mason Chamber Gala. Dale and Jerry were there, so we'll get the nitty-gritty from that one. That's coming up right next on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Was your weekend too eventful? A friend or family member land themselves in a bit of trouble? Feel like you're stuck in a cell? Casey's Bail Bonds is here to help. Upon arrest, a person must be processed through the local jail. And Casey's Bail Bonds is also local, making the process more efficient and getting you out quicker. Casey's Bail Bonds has been in Washington for over 15 years, and their goal is to provide speedy and professional services. Find them online at caseysbailbonds.com or call 731-2011. Casey's Bail Bonds is located in Kitsap, Clallam, and Mason counties.
Your small business needs a loyalty rewards program, but email and paper cards are not effective, and using your POS system where you have to do all the work is bad as well. Go mobile. 95% of customers will check your marketing message on their smartphones in the first 5 minutes you send it, and we do all the work for you for under $150 a month. Call Puget Sound Perks today, 253-584-1212, or visit psperks.com. Reward your customers, and they'll reward you back.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
8:16 here at iFIBER One News Radio. It is Daybreak on a Monday, the 8th of February. We're chatting about things happening around these parts this weekend. Started with Dale talking about the Mason County Emergency Services Polar Bear Plunge at the Alderbrook. That was out on the dock out at the Alderbrook. Beautiful. Inside,
where the beautiful people go,
it was a little warmer.
I was shushed away.
And we were shushed.
Yeah.
And the beautiful people did arrive for the gala at the North Mason Chamber in the Alderbrook.
Yes, the North Mason Chamber of Commerce Red and White Installation Gala, I don't know which way to go, and Hot Stuff Auction. So it was a lot of fun. That was sold out. They had a full house there, and Jerry and I enjoyed our table. We sat with the Little Creek Casino table.
Oh, good.
So that was a lot of fun, and I didn't have to look for Steve Andruski. He sat right next to me.
He started feeling something.
Did you have to wear red and white?
That was
the idea?
What was the idea,
Okay.
and I missed that part.
Well.
So, but a lot of people did. The women, of course, dressed to the nines, and they looked beautiful. And most guys had a red tie or something. I did.
Red nose?
No, my nose got red, I guess, maybe. Maybe that was it. Drank red wine. Does that count?
There you go. Yep.
So there was the installation of the trustees by the Honorable Victoria Meadows. And she was putting the math together, and this was her 24th year of doing that. So her and her husband came out, and she did her thing up there, and it was a good night, a lot of fun. So I wanted to announce the winners of the and so member of the year was Kim Hack from Kitsap Bank. Congratulations to her. The business of the year for 2015, Shoemaker Chiropractic. Kat Ross got citizen of the year. And let's see, North Mason's Coalition of Churches and the North Mason Resources tied for nonprofit organization of the year.
Wow.
Rick Klaas from McLendon's was given the Chairman's Choice Award. And Sherry Cloud, who just retired from Kitsap. No. Well, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Olympia Federal Savings Loan. She got the Special Lifetime Achievement Award, and she's done so much for many, many, many years there in the Belfair community. And Jeremy Hicks did a wonderful job doing the auction. Our firefighter buddy kept calling me the voice of Mason County.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah.
Very deep.
And so he did a good job, and they raised lots of money, and it was a fun night, to be sure. And I kind of, after the day out on the water and the gala and the dinner and the dessert, didn't stay out late.
No.
Didn't put the band to bed at the lounge or anything. So law enforcement had a event going the same night. So it was quite an interesting hallway in the late hours.
Oh, at the Alderbrook as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people
a lot of
trying to figure out.
commingling and doing two events, upstairs, downstairs. And
a lot of people reversing direction. They look down the hallway. I'll go down another hallway, I think.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was a good night. Busy place on Saturday night there at Alderbrook.
Coming up this week is the United Way Valentine's auction, dessert auction and gift auction. It's 8:19 right now. When we come back from this break, Dale's going to talk about what his duties are for that, and we've got a special giveaway regarding that. It's all coming up next right after this break on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It is Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Also streaming on the web at iFIBER1newsradio.com. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner and Dale Hubbard. And Dale, this week is the 8th annual Valentine's Dessert and Gift Auction benefiting United Way of Mason County. It's going to be on the 12th. From 11:30 to 1:30 at the Civic Center.
Yes.
We have in studio with us, Carol, the auctioneer.
We do, Dale Hubbard.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Lunch from Maple Glen Senior Living.
Yes.
So that'll be delicious. And I think it's a buffet style this year, a little bit different. Major fundraiser, though, for United Way. So don't lose sight of that. This is one of the main events of the year where they get their funding to help meet needs in the county. And United Way does such good stuff all year long. We have a lot of fun. We cram a lot of desserts into about a 2-hour window right there. So some 40 desserts up for auction, some gift baskets. It's frisky and fast-paced, and everybody's very enthusiastic, and we have just a good time. I can't believe this is the 8th annual event, and I think that I've been doing the auction for about 6 or 7 of those 8 years. So it was just a year or two before they snagged me, and we were at the Colonial House originally. They outgrew that. Now they're over at the Civic Center. Great turnout every year. A lot of fun. It's just great timing. It's always the Friday in and around the Valentine's weekend, and a couple of hours slice out of your Friday, and it's a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. It starts at 11:30, and it'll go boom. It'll start right away. Carrie will make a few opening statements, and we'll do the auction right away as people are eating, and away we go.
Get them right out of there at 1:30, head back to work.
Right away, yes. And so there's a bit of a dessert auction. I can't even begin to tell you. Some of them are incredible. All homemade for the most part, and donated by citizens and people from around the community. So tickets are $20 in advance, $25 at the door, but because we value our listeners so much.
Very much.
And because we were given some tickets to give away.
Now we're getting to it.
We'll take a phone call this morning.
462-1041.
And you'll get free pair of tickets to join us for the Valentine Dessert and Gift Auction. And then you can parlay that $40 that you saved by getting free tickets by donating to buy some delicious dessert items.
Who do we have on the phone line with us right now?
Hey, this is Bill.
Hey, Bill. How you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Doing well. Good to hear from you. You interested in going to this Valentine's dessert auction coming up this Friday at the Civic Center?
You know, I do like my desserts.
Well, Bill, we have got you on the list now. We've got your phone number. We're ready to go. And you have got a pair of tickets with your name on it here at the studio.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Good to talk with you. 7-824 here at iFIBER One. The winning is just that easy.
Yes. And I'll be in your stead on Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
So we've got another pair of tickets. We'll give away when I get back on the air later this week.
I like that idea.
Sounds good.
Yeah. How's that?
Excellent. It's always fun. The desserts always are mouthwatering.
They're incredible. I mean, they're absolutely incredible. Some of the things that people do just astonish me. It just really is amazing. So come early enough to get to peruse the table and the display. They have them all out on one big table, the width of the Civic Center. And then get your table, get your food, get your money and your cards out, Get ready to rock and roll.
That's right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, very good. It is 8:26 here at iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Expecting a call from the morning stock numbers and Karen Shade on the way. We'll also have more conversations throughout the rest of the morning with Lynn Longan on the way, the director of the Economic Development Council of Mason County. That's all coming up next after this break on Daybreak.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, to even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the number one most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
From the iFIBER One News Radio Studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Today, good morning, starts the Chinese New Year. It's the year of the monkey, and we're trying to figure out what our animals are. These aren't our spirit animals. These are the lunar. That's not. How do they determine these things? Do you know how they determine these? We have found that I was the year of the sheep, 79.
Lunar calendar. The year you were born in the Chinese lunar calendar.
Which is older than our calendar.
50. 1950 is the year of the tiger.
Yes.
And so that takes care of Dale.
Mm-hmm.
So without saying the year, though, Carol, can you tell us what animal you represent?
Mine is the year of the rabbit.
The year of the rabbit. So you're turning 25 this year. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does it say for the tiger? You have it right there.
The tiger, expressive, courageous, and unpredictable, with a stubborn streak.
That works.
That works.
Yep, like a predator charging to prey, the tiger makes quick decisions, does not waver. You might have a moon rising somewhere else. I don't know.
Sure I do. Or a goiter.
Hard to say. So, Jeff, what did you say you were?
Sheep, 79.
Sheep.
The year of the sheep?
Let's see. Born, generally thought to be artistic, kind and caring, tender and polite.
Thought to be.
They can also be shy and sensitive.
And sleepy.
And sleepy. Totally sleepy. Rabbit, which is me, compassionate, modest, and has mercy.
What?
Nice.
And then impulsive, lovable dreamers.
And then what's the monkey? Because today's the start of the year of the monkey.
Yes, the monkey. People born in this year are quick-witted, intelligent, and playful. Mischievous, well-intentioned jokesters who love to play pranks but don't have a mean to cause harm.
Oh.
All right.
There you go.
Those are fun. I like reading these things. It's because, you read them and you go, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
No matter what. I was reading the...
how those
what are
fortune
these
tellers work.
Horoscope things. I was reading the horoscopes on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And they both, for yours and mine, Carol, it was like, I can see that. How do they know?
How do they know?
It's 8:30. Good morning.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Eventually, something is going to break through all the lies and all the hundreds of millions of dollars that Koch Industries and ExxonMobil and others have spent funding climate change deniers. Eventually, it's going to break through, and people are going to realize that for the last 40 years, they've been lied to by very wealthy people who are lying to us and allowing people to die just so they can protect their wealth. Not even protect their existing wealth, just so they can make more wealth.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. Access to mental health and substance abuse services will get easier in Mason and Thurston counties. The two counties have formed a new regional organization which seeks to reduce reliance on jails and emergency departments. This will be accomplished with the implementation of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. The new Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Board will oversee and manage integrated state-funded mental health and chemical dependency programs serving Thurston and Mason counties. Board members include Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, who will serve as chairman for the BHO, and Mason County Commissioner Terry Jeffries as vice chair. Blake says the new organization allows us to combine mental health and substance abuse services that are greatly needed in the community. Dr. Alex Apostle, Shelton School Superintendent, told Daybreak about some upcoming events in connection with Graduation Matters, Shelton's effort to get all students to graduate from high school.
In relationship to Olympic College and our school district, we're working together to put together a program that will encourage Latino students to graduate from high school and attend college. And this is going to be a very exciting event. It's scheduled for March 22nd and 23rd at Olympic College. We are also initiating promotion celebration ceremonies at the 5th grade level, 7th grade level, and 9th grade level to honor the academic achievement of students and the efforts of staff and families in terms of moving the students forward. We're going to do this in the month of May, and we'll be verifying those dates and times and where we're going to have that. But basically, we're going to honor our kids very early in our system for doing a good job.
Other events to put on your calendar. The school district is having a staff open forum on February 18th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Evergreen. There's a community open forum on February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. also at Evergreen. The topics covered during that meeting will include general information on levies and bonds. The Spring Sports Community Pride Night to celebrate athletes and coaches is at the high school, 5:30 p.m. on March 9th. To hear updates on these upcoming events, listen to Dr. Apostle on Daybreak every Friday at 8:15. The Washington State Corrections Secretary resigned on Saturday amid controversy over the early release of prisoners. The Department of Corrections and Governor's Office disclosed in December that a software coding error led to the early release of up to 3,200 prisoners since 2002 because of miscalculated sentences. At least 2 deaths have been tied to those early releases. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done. And your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730. All right, good morning to you. It's 8:34 here, and on the phone line from Edward Jones, it's Karen Shade. Good morning.
Good morning.
Super Bowl, huh?
Yes, it was a Super Bowl.
For the football fan, it was quite an exciting game.
You know, I have to say it's one of the better ones in a long time.
I
mean, of course, we always
at least one of the team's representative could have been better.
Yeah, I think it's a great major upset, and I'm happy for the Broncos. I thought they brought their A game.
They sure did. Is Wall Street rallying around Denver this morning?
Oh, I wish I could say yes. But no, U.S. stocks are sharply lower this morning in conjunction with equity markets around the globe over concerns about the health of the global economy. In earnings news, WGL Holdings earnings fell below expectations but increased its dividend by 5%. All sectors of the S&P are in negative territory this morning, and U.S. bond prices are higher due to the weakness in equity markets. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is utilities, while the worst performing sector is financials. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 360 points at 15,844. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is down 35 points at 1,845. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 121 points at 4,241. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is high, with about 351 million shares being traded, and decliners are outnumbering advancers by a wide margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $21.84 to $1,195.66, and the spot price of silver is up 31 cents to $15.32, and crude oil prices are down 48 cents to $30.41. And the bond markets, a 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.57%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.74%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is down $22.80, Costco is down $1.71, Boeing is down $3.29, Starbucks is down $1.39, and Microsoft is down $1.29. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member FIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right, Karen, thank you much.
You're welcome.
8:37 now, and time for ABC Sports on Daybreak.
It's a good day to be a Denver Broncos fan. Hi, everyone. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
If you haven't started already, you can officially start now in the Mile High City and Rocky Mountain region, because the Denver Broncos are world champions. They have just won Super Bowl 50.
Dave Logan on KOA. Denver defeats the Carolina Panthers 24-10. The big question after the game, will QB Peyton Manning retire? But the two-time Super Bowl champ wouldn't give a definitive answer.
I think I'll make a good decision. I think I'll be at peace with it, whichever way it goes. Like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight being with my family and my friends and some teammates and celebrating this special victory and this special win.
Panthers' Cam Newton wore a hoodie draped over his forehead and looked noticeably deflated after the loss. He only had short answers for the media.
They just played better than us. I don't know what you want me to say.
Broncos linebacker Von Miller forced 2 fumbles and was named MVP. This is ABC Sports. Don't expect many Denver Broncos fans to show up for work on time. ABC's Alex Stone was at the Super Bowl and says fans are soaking in the franchise's 3rd championship.
Oh, man, I feel great, man. Super Bowl champs, baby. Yeah.
For Broncos fans, this is redemption. After Denver had a bruising loss to Seattle 2 years ago, now they're champions. Ted Hunt.
I am on cloud 9, man. I'm so happy for Peyton.
With the field here covered in confetti, now the team begins looking forward.
Von Miller will be a free agent, and if Manning doesn't retire, he'll also be a free agent. Here's what you might have missed on Super Bowl Sunday. Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch hinting that he'll retire with a tweet that showed a pair of cleats hanging from a power line. A game winner on the hardwood in Orlando.
He'll back off. It's good. Jumper's up. It's in. He knocked it down at the buzzer. Ball game over. They rule it in favor of Orlando. Vucevic faded away from Horford, and bang, it's over.
On WDBO, Magic topped the Hawks 96-94. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
No, good morning to you, Daybreak. 8:39 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
Tanner Allison recorded his first hat trick as a member of the Ole Town Artesians on Saturday, but the Vancouver Victory wins 13-6 at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. Artesians close out the 2015-2016 season on Saturday against the Snohomish Skyhawks. First kick at 6. And for more information, oletownfc.com. We just heard about it in the ABC Sports, but a little more on Marshawn Lynch tweeting out his shoes on a power line, immediately followed by statements of thanks and congratulations from teammates. He is turning 30 in April and coming off a big injury-plagued 2015 season where he was limited to just 7 games in the regular season and one of Seattle's 2 playoff games. This week, Gonzaga plays Thursday at Portland and Saturday at SMU. Additionally, this Thursday, the Shelton girls basketball team is headed to take on Auburn Mountain View. Games at 7, and Sports Director Sean Wells is scheduled to cover that game for us. It's 8:40 now at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and here's Carol with an updated weather forecast for us.
Good morning. It's 32. There's sunshine in downtown Shelton. There might be a little haze in some other places because it might be a little foggy still. But it's going to lift. It'll be mainly sunny all day with a high of 61. Tomorrow, sunny with a few afternoon clouds, high of 63. For the rest of the week, highs drop to the mid-50s, and there's going to be some chances of showers. So get out there today and tomorrow, and it's 32 right now.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at 8:41. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner, and a good morning to you here. And Mary Bruce has some news. She's with ABC. It's not deadly, but the president is asking for some new money to battle the Zika virus, declared a global health emergency by the WHO because it's possibly linked to birth defects. ABC's Mary Bruce has more on this from Washington.
The Obama administration is requesting $1.8 billion in emergency funding from Congress to fight the Zika virus at home and abroad. Speaking to CBS News, President Obama stressed that Zika is not as dangerous as Ebola.
There shouldn't be panic on this. This is not something where people are going to die from it. It is something that we have to take seriously.
The funding would be used to expand mosquito control, speed development of a vaccine, and support health services for pregnant women. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Washington.
8:42 here at iFIBER ONE, and Lynn Longen, director of the EDC, coming up in a few moments. This Zika virus, though, continuing to be in the news over the weekend as more and more people are getting this, even through sexual contact with their partners. We saw some cases down in Texas, and Dallas had an Ebola outbreak. You remember that a couple of years ago? I think it was in Dallas, Texas, regardless. So they're getting hit again with this major health crisis. So they have a little bit of familiarity with dealing with these situations, but it is a scary and rapidly spreading.
Right. It is, sort of crazy. And then down in Southern America, Brazil, they're talking about how sort of like the upper crust, they're not as worried about it because they don't have as many mosquito issues. And like the poor neighborhoods have a lot of standing water. It's just not as clean, and they're dealing with a lot of other stuff, and now also with a lot of this mosquito stuff. So inequality, unfortunately, is going to play a factor in this whole virus spreading thing also.
I mean, you think the rich folk down in Rio, like they have zero contact with the poor folk in Rio. I mean, that is just ludicrous to not think that they're going to somehow ever commingle.
Right. And, it's probably, you can't stop a mosquito.
What's going to happen when they all have to come clean all the houses?
Yeah, I know.
Think about that.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Director of the EDC of Mason County, it's Lynn Longen. She's on the air with us next on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Having a new baby this year? If you just got the exciting news, Mountain View Women's Health has some more good news. The best prenatal and delivery care you could ask for is close to home and family. Mountain View's Women's Health and the Birth Center at Mason General Hospital offer excellent care to make your prenatal and birth experience wonderful. Among the many great features is the personalized birthing plan that includes your choice of pain management, from epidural to natural birth. For more information, call Mountain View Women's Health at 426-0955.
Mountain View Women's Health is part of Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. Your home is better protected when your whole community is prepared. Visit fireadapted.org to get started. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
If you're afraid of school shootings, fine. Put him near the outer perimeter of the school. Put him in front of the school. Build a little guardhouse or something, stick him in it. But a cop to deal with discipline problems? It's turning a school into a prison. It's teaching kids how to be afraid of authority figures. It's teaching them, oh, yes, officer, no, officer. Oh, please don't beat the crap out of her. Oh, wow, look at him beat the crap out of her. This is so wrong.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studio, you're listening to Daybreak.
Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at 8:46. I'm Jeff Slakey and Carol Gardner and Lynn Longan on the air with us this morning, the director of the Mason County Economic Development Council. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. Thank you for having me again this morning.
Oh, we love talking with you about economic development and how it helps to get, well, the economy growing around this area. And we have started to learn more and more about the ways the EDC helps businesses that are already here. I mean, you do a lot of work with that. It's not just going recruiting people.
Right.
You do a lot of
we try to
building and fostering of the businesses here. So that's pretty cool stuff. We love talking about that.
Oh, good. Good.
So what's
I
going?
don't get tired of it either.
Well, then you found the right job, I think.
Right?
What are we talking about today?
I thought we should talk about our annual luncheon a little bit.
Okay.
So it's our big one for the year. It'll be out at Alderbrook on the 19th. We have Jason Robertson. He's a consultant that has been working with Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council. So he's going to be there, and he's going to be our main speaker. It'll be talking about he did a cluster study for the county a few years ago for the 5 counties for the Pac Mountain region.
Oh, okay.
Right. And it was, I believe it was about 4 years ago they did the study, and they're updating it now.
So when you say cluster study, that means the cluster is the 5 regions?
No,
or
the 5 counties are the region, and they did a cluster study, meaning they did a study of what industries are the strongest in those 5 counties and where was the most potential. Yeah. So we've used that. All of the economic developers have used that study going forward. Our roundtables, our forums that we had didn't quite match up completely, but you have to think about, it was 5 counties. So they didn't exactly match up with us, but we were pretty in sync with it. So it'll be really interesting, I think, to see him. He'll have some numbers and some charts and some data about those industry clusters. And the timing's perfect, because we're getting ready to start our roundtables on those industries and start building those strategies on the industries that our residents, our community, have identified as important to them.
What are those industries?
I should have these totally memorized, and I might. There's value-added ag with aquaculture. There's tourism. There's healthcare. There's high-tech, so tech communications. There was another one that was career ed, which isn't necessarily a industry. It's more of a strategy in my mind to the other industries. But taking that and they've kind of identified it as an industry because people said, we want more trade schools here and more tech schools here. And why wouldn't we have that?
Sure.
And that could, in and of itself, could be its own strategy. So career ed and tech schools. And I know I've left one out.
So you have roundtables and you discuss how you would attract businesses here or help the businesses that are already here that are somewhat
all of it. So if you're going to have a good strategy around that industry, you have a little bit of recruitment. How do we recruit more? You have definitely business retention and expansion. How do we help the companies, the existing businesses in that industry to grow and to be, sustainable and viable and vibrant?
Do we have anything right now that would lead us to a quick path of finding one of the 5? Is there something that's inherently in the county now that can get us to fruition with one of these things quickly?
Well, economic development's never quick. I just, I understand everybody keeps saying, well, when are you going to recruit a company to make up those jobs for the mills closing and whatnot?
Right.
But recruitment's a long-term process. Sometimes it can take 15 to 20 years. Now, not always, but it's definitely long-term. It doesn't happen in a year. It's a long-term. You have to know what you're going after. You have to fix all the building blocks to get there, and you have to keep your eye on the ball. It's not, like I said, they don't just fall in your lap. You always hear about the few that do. And so then everybody thinks that you should be able to do that. That's just not the reality. It's like buying a ticket to the Powerball and you have a 1 in 1 billion chance or something. It's, you have to, that's just not the way we need to do it. We need to do it systematically, and we need to be very thoughtful about what it is we're trying to recruit.
Future consequences of whatever you bring here is obviously something that you have to look at.
At the same time, I don't think that we can afford to turn up our nose at a lot of stuff either. So I'm not saying we should take anything, but at the same time, we need to not be saying it has to be this specific industry. It has to be this specific company. Because if you do that, then businesses see that.
But something that works with what your vision for the vision of the county is.
Exactly. Right.
So do you have to get through almost to completion before you can start another one of the ideas? So there's not any intermingling of different changes. Like, well, we want to go forward on perhaps aquaculture and the business there. So let's go in that path. But at the same time, we'll talk about, I don't know, let's just say water sports. And a water sports path would have perhaps different restrictions that a aquaculture thing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying there?
I do. So that's the whole point of having this strategy in place so that, we can, if we know and we're very clear about what it is that we want, and if it's one over the other, then when those do come up, then at least we have some direction. We know which one we're going to, if we have to choose sides between them, which one are we really going to support? And I'm not saying it's the... But we have to have a plan. And we have to have guidance. It's the reason that we started those roundtables and we started those forums when I first came on. I thought, tell me, I'm not the all-powerful. I don't know everything. So tell me what it is that you want to see, you, the community. Yes, I have a voice because I'm part of the community, but let's figure it out together. What do we want to see grown? And that way, hopefully, it'll keep me out of a whole lot of trouble with people. I mean, there's always going to be people who are going to be upset with the EDC, but at the same time, at least then we can say we're going with what the community's asked.
Well, let's get voices. Let's get people to the luncheon. When is it? Where is it? How do we get there?
It's February 19th at Alderbrook Resort. And the doors open at 11:30. Food's out at 11:45. We have a really tight agenda, so please be there and be ready to go.
Do they have to RSVP or just?
Yes. Yeah. It's $25 a head. Just call the EDC.
Okay.
Mason County Economic Development Council Director Lynn Longan in, and ChooseMason.com is the website for the Mason County EDC. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mhm, thank you.
We will take a break from next week's Economic Development Report, and we'll be back with it coming on the 22nd of February.
Good.
8:54 here. We'll take a break, and we'll come back on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Say goodbye to the sheep and hello to the Year of the Monkey. An in-depth look at the Chinese New Year on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, February 8th, the 39th day of the year. Actor Nick Nolte has a birthday, and on this traditional Chinese calendar, today is New Year's Day. This is the Year of the Monkey. Legend says it should be an auspicious year for those born in a previous Year of the Monkey. Those include 1944, 56, 68, 80, 92, and 2004. It's also believed that children take on the qualities of the animal associated with their birth year. Wit, intelligence, and lively personalities are a few characteristics of monkey people. Is it true? You be the judge. Here are some well-known people born in monkey years: Charles Dickens, Owen Wilson, Tom Hanks, Will Smith, Mick Jagger, and Miley Cyrus. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Well, good morning to you. It's 8:56 here at iFIBER One News Radio. We're going to be stepping aside for ABC News and Tom Hartman here in just a few moments. But on the phone line with us, we have Don Miner, who we spent a good portion of our Saturday with this past weekend at the Alderbrook. Good morning, Don.
Morning, Don.
Good morning, Jeff and Carol.
How's it going?
It's going great.
How was the happy totals from the big plunge this weekend?
You know, we had about 35 participate, and we did a little over $3,000.
Wow, that's great.
We're excited.
Mason County Emergency Services, and there's about 4 groups involved with that are not part of the tax base, so these fundraisers definitely help them. It's search and rescue, the dive operations, and
the K-9 unit.
The K-9.
And the Chaplain Fund.
That's right, the Chaplain Fund.
Yeah.
This was a fun event we had, and the weather really was pleasantly mild.
It was. And you know what really contributed nicely to it was the fact that we had that little band there that was there all day.
Yeah, the Windjammers, Stan Yantis and the Windjammers, they sounded good. They were playing some pretty funny songs as people were out there. The music to the Titanic, Jaws theme. That's the last thing I needed to think about if I'm out there jumping in. The Jaws theme starts coming up.
Well, they were great, and the dive team was a big support. So was the Union Fire Department with their ambulance and their assistance. Thanks to Clint Volk, the fire chief there.
Well, as usual, we had a great time out there, and it was so good to see so many folks involved in not only the jumping, the fundraising, but just the celebration that was going on at the Alderbrook.
Well, we greatly appreciate all those that helped, including Dale, who was so kind to MC that whole event.
Yeah, he did a great job.
It was great. We greatly appreciate it. We'd love to have you again next year.
Oh, it's always a blast. It's on the calendar. We got it marked out and ready to go.
As long as you have the hot towels.
Yes. Those hot towels really added something.
That was nice.
They're nice, aren't they? Yeah. Thanks to Alderbrook Resort and Spa.
For sure.
Sean Tucker, just a great general manager there and very cooperative in what they do and help us. And
yeah, it was a great time.
It's a super place to hold that event. But thank you for KMAS and all the things you do to promote and help us to put on this annual event. And we'll do it again next February 2017 on the first Saturday of February.
We will have that on the calendar. Don Miner, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye now.
8:59 now at iFIBER One News Radio. It was a lot of fun out there
It was
over
fun.
the weekend.
You starting to get some memory back on it?
I'm starting
Your
to remember.
brain cells are sort of numbing out.
It was a great time, and I do remember being out there and jumping in the cold water and getting back. It is such a blur. There was a footage. I had like an underwater camera that I held onto and jumped in. And the beginning of the footage seems like in normal time. And it's me standing there, whatever. And then as soon as you hit the water, it really seems like it's a Benny Hill kind of action, like and it's fast forward motion. And looking back and reflecting, it's probably me trying to get out of the water as quickly as possible, like a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you jump in. Obviously the water was cold.
It's your first time.
Yeah, the water was cold, but your body was like responding to the cold more than your mind did, I think, because it was like all of a sudden didn't move as well. So.
It was pretty
It was fun. I'll do it again.
All right, thanks, Carol. Have a good rest of
You
your
too,
day.
Jeff.
We'll be back tomorrow. It's Daybreak on iFIBER One.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
On iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030, FM 103.3, KMAS Shelton.
News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The White House is urging Congress to approve emergency funding all to battle the Zika virus.
The Obama administration is asking for $1.8 billion in emergency funding from Congress to fight the Zika virus. Most of the money would go to the Department of Health and Human Services to support Zika virus readiness, research, and treatment in the United States. Money would also go to help affected countries control mosquitoes, which is how the virus is spread. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
The final push is on in New Hampshire before tomorrow's primary. Florida Senator Marco Rubio still on the defensive about his record and experience. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl is in Manchester and says Rubio has an uphill battle.